transit is one very effective way to do that.
That's not political, Dennis.
No, I agree. Yeah,
That's just like plain old like
common sense.
inviting people downtown, right?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned this one because over here in geez, I'm sorry. I know this is a cell phone show, but you guys got me excited to talk about other stuff. But over here in Pittsburgh, there's actually this little thing going on right now where some of the local officials are asking them, trying to rejuvenate our downtown, and they're doing like polls and stuff like that, asking like what do we want? What do we need to get people to live, to play, to work down there, or just to spend their fun bucks downtown? And my biggest thing was like the very first thing I said was, if you want people to go down there for fun, get foot traffic, invest in public transit. It is a freaking nightmare to drive to downtown, and then by the time you get down there, you got to find parking. It's like 15 minute walk away from where you want to be, and you're paying expensive costs for parking. And if you think about the people that want to have like a nightlife downtown, you want to go to drink with your friends or something, you don't want to drive your car down there. You need a DD or something. And then for the people that want to live, and for the people that want to live down there, I can't speak for other cities, but at least for Pittsburgh, there's not a lot of like actual residential housing, and especially not affordable residential housing in the actual downtown part of the city. Most of the housing is like surrounding the suburbs, and you can see that in our population of Allegheny County. So, I mean, like, this stuff should just be common sense. The fact they're even polling about it is crazy to me. Oh, and one last thing. There's no grocery store downtown. How do you expect someone to live downtown when they can't get around? There's no public transit, and there's not even a grocery store. I mean, it's all basic stuff to me, but I don't know. What do I know? I'm a crazy socialist over here, socialist Dennis. People, I don't know.
Nope, you got good points, Dennis. The cities have to be more inviting, and they have to be, they have to have everything there so nobody has to leave.
Yeah.
And those services, they should be modern, right? They should be, fun, enjoyable, high quality. Downtowns can thrive even in Midwest cities. I just not sure why they don't properly focus on the zoning, and putting it all together. They struggle with that.
But hey, we talked a lot. What do you have planned for tonight, my man? I'm sure you got a book prepared.
Yeah, man. I got a Google Fiber story. I got the FCC trying to bring back net neutrality. JD Power has a story on cable and satellite with respect to streaming TV. Consumer spending on video is on the decline. Mobilex was in the news cycle this week, so we'll talk about that. And then I guess if we have time, I guess we'll cover the China story about China and like their network speeds. It's pretty damn impressive. We'll probably wrap up the show with a little bit about Verizon and their standalone network, and then T-Mobile, them kind of opening up network slicing as a beta nationwide. Those are kind of the stories today.
Can we squeeze in the report about data consumption, the statistics, when we talk about
Yeah, man. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's hit it.
All right, cool, man. Boom, right there. All right, Google Fiber offers ACP participants essentially free 300 megabit service. All right, so Google Fiber is creating 300 megabit per second tier, valued at $30 a month, puts it for free if you qualify for the ACP Affordable Connectivity Program. The subsidy will cover basically the entire service. No data caps, no annual contract. I don't know if this was offered before with Google Fiber, so I think that's why they're making this a story. But it says here, the potential for other providers to maybe join the ACP, offer, their services through the program at free of cost, right, for their entry level tier or whatever. I think most big ISPs are in on this, so I guess it was just a matter of time for Google Fiber to get involved. But I don't know. It all kind of depends on the communities in which they build their fiber, if they're probably going to have these types of consumers who would be qualifying for the ACP.
So there's actually two. Oh, God.
I was just going to say, I never followed Google Fiber specifically for ACP before. So again, like I don't have any commentary to kind of build off of this. Just take it for face value. Looks like Google Fiber is on the ACP now.
Yeah. I was going to touch on two things that you said really quickly. One was about the qualification piece. So I'll just say this. despite what people think about like different areas, you'll be surprised about the people that live in different places when it comes to qualifications for something like the ACP program. And the second thing I was just going to say was I'm surprised it took Google this long to take advantage of the program, because even smaller mom and pop shop style ISPs, I'm talking as tiny as a Blue Devil Cable and Armstrong Cable, were long participants of this program for a long time. And I do think it's good that Google's participating in it. And I think it's smart that Google made a new plan, because prior to this, their cheapest offering, if I remember correctly, was $50, and I believe it was for only 100 meg. So good news for consumers, good news for accessibility and affordability, which are all very important fundamental things to the modern day life that we live in.
Hey, big shout out to Franco. Thank you for the super chat, buddy. He said call reception in the UP is adequate. Zero cool. Could you comment?
I sure can. I'll take his question up here. No, it's not adequate at all. It's abysmal. So it, easy fix, it's all, ROI dependent, but yeah, easy fix would be, make the towers like trees, because we got a crap ton of trees here. So just, have some tree towers up here and nobody will know the difference. It's the easiest solution. And they just haven't done it yet. So, and that's not the only problem. The other problem that we have is we don't have the actual a high capacity fiber going from Southern Michigan to the UP. I know that the governor's working on that, but we need a bigger backbone, right? To put more towers.
Bottleneck, man.
It is. Yeah, it's such a bottleneck. Yeah, for sure. So. But yeah, it could be easily fixed, but like with anything, it takes a lot of money. So now for the Google Fiber, this is great. This is good for low income and for college students, stuff like that. It's a great price, and it's get good 300 megabyte service. So yeah, I'm all for this. The more, I've always been a huge proponent of the more people that are on the internet, the better. This is great. So we need, the whole world connected, and this is good for Google Fiber. I would like to see. I would like to see more.
I know what we want to see. We want to see more Google Fiber in more places.
It's not just that, but I want to. Yes, but I want to see that and more colleges. I like to see them invest in more either local ISPs or some type of partnership with them, because they can
with Google.
No, it doesn't have to be with Google. It could just be with the local ILEC, right? So if they could somehow do some funding plan and get colleges either that don't have adequate internet to have that, right? That would be good for the college students, because there's a lot of colleges that do have great internet, but not everyone does. So
spicy hot take that I think would be interesting. I would love to see colleges in and of themselves become the ISPs for the towns that they're in and actually provide internet service. I say this because when I was up at State College, as you guys know, Penn State literally has their own zip code, and they were their own ISP. They had all their own fiber. They had a lot of it too. And they had lots of wireless access points across near downtown part of the campus. The connectivity there was tremendous. And I think that might be an interesting way to spend some government fund bucks to expand accessibility and bring down costs and provide well-needed competition in some of those more remote locations.
It would be easier to do what's called a fiber relay for these colleges that have like multiple buildings everywhere and different campuses and stuff like that. That'd be the best solution I can think of. But yeah, it seems if you're not only need the college education, but you need the internet. It's an important piece to graduate and whatnot. But no, that'd be nice to have. I think even high schools need to do the same exact thing, right? So junior high and elementary schools as well. So
I'm actually thinking about it from an educational training program standpoint. Like right now in the States, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but we're suffering currently from and projected to continue to suffer from a shortage in things like fiber technicians and stuff like that when it comes to deploying critical infrastructure in our country. So what would be like the capitalistic, like profitable or fun way to solve this problem? For some reason, the idea of like having a college be the ISP, but also have a program where the students pay into it, you can train the students while actually doing real meaningful work, expanding connectivity, generate extra revenue for the school.
Like a trade school within itself, almost.
Yeah, basically, yeah, a trade school that just focuses strictly on that as the program. They serve their
fiber.
community by providing fiber connectivity, and
that would be awesome. That would be so cool. Yeah, that'd be nice.
It was just an idea that just came out of nowhere, but
yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be the technicians and engineers of the future right then and there. Yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Sorry, Sneed, that went off topic again. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay, man. I actually thought of that idea a while back, but it was with respect to municipal kind of owning and operating their own fiber and doing it through high schools and colleges. So I mean that's something that I'm a big supporter of. I mean, when I was thinking aloud and thinking about that, I'm like, man, you get a couple quality instructors, those that have, 20 years in the industry. We turn them into educators, instructors, and then provide certification training, getting people all types of different certs, and then have them operating, and then getting the management positions, and getting them internships and things like that. I feel like that's a win-win situation all the way across the board.
B, did you want to chime in or next topic?
I actually think it's a pretty good idea. Makes a lot of sense. I've never been a fan of the government, jumping into private sector stuff. I don't really love that, but the idea of training students does make a lot of sense. Provides them with the ability to be able to kind of hit the ground running once they get into their career. So I like that portion of it. I'm not sure about government having their own eyes. I'm not really a fan of that portion, but it does make sense to think about ways to be able to train young up and coming engineers and technicians. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good idea. All right, guys, it's back. It's freaking back. Net neutrality is coming back, guys. I'm not even joking. This thing will not die. Net neutrality is back. FCC Chairwoman Jessica Rosenworcel said today that she is circulating a proposal that would be the first step in reinstating net neutrality rules that were overturned under the previous presidential administration. The proposal also calls for broadband access to be reclassified as a Title II communications service, a move that would be necessary to give the commission the authority to impose net neutrality rules, but which is opposed by many broadband providers. So basically, ISPs aren't with this whole net neutrality thing. They're going to fight this, I'm sure. I'm not sure what the probabilities are of this happening. I don't know. I guess if it was going to happen, it probably should have happened sooner. But I suppose it was hard to do when you only had 4, FCC members for the last 3 years, or I should say the last 2 years, I suppose. I don't know. You guys have been, following these types of net neutrality stories for a while. I remember when this was a thing a number of years ago. What's your take on it? You guys think that the FCC is going to get their way? And I don't even know what the construct is with respect to the FCC, because right now I think the FCC is it 3 Democrats and 2 Republicans?
Yes,
is that
correct?
Okay, because the new lady Gomez, she's Democrat, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's 3-2. So if it plays that way, I think we know what's going to happen. But what do you say, Dennis?
Well, a few parts. I'll start with the short and the easy part that you're asking me. Do I think it'll be reinstated? Probably. But there's a second more interesting point that I want to bring up that you were kind of dancing around earlier in your conversation, which is, what are our thoughts about it coming back, and what it will look like. I'm for net neutrality coming back, and based off the discussions of what I've been following, it looks like they're just going to reinstate what was formerly under the Obama administration under Wheeler, that exact policy. which I like the spirit of and the idea, but I didn't find it to actually effectively have the teeth or the finer tooth comb to allow for the spirit of it for it to actually make a real impact in the market. Especially because when it went away, we didn't really see anything actually end up changing. And even when net neutrality was in play, some of the core tenets of it got challenged by ISPs like T-Mobile, for example, when they introduced binge on and other things like that with the video streaming cap. So I'm hoping that when it does come back, there's maybe a little bit more thought and maybe some tweaks to really nail down what the actual end goal outcome is of this.
All right, let me get I think Moose just jumped in. Let's get Moose in this. Moose, what do you think, man?
They have the votes to make it an easy pass. The problem is that you know, the current form, or sorry, the previous form of the Wheeler administration net neutrality rules need to be updated. You know, I think it's a little bit outdated in a sense, right? Because you're going to have to also factor in all the numerous streaming services that have popped up since then.
Yeah, there's a lot, Moose. I mean, can you name bigger services than like Netflix and Max? I mean, all that's like to the 10th
Right.
power since the last time they did this with the construct.
Right.
And then, you know what, another thing I thought of, I mean, this was a while ago when I first started thinking about this. All right, so MS brings up network slicing. Like that, you can't ban network slicing. That's like core functionality on a network. I mean, that's messy. That's a gray area. You know, the network will be controllable by the ISP. I mean, what are they going to say to that? You know what I mean?
Right.
What's the purpose of this? What are they trying to guard against? Like,
So
I
there's
don't
a
understand.
So in the simplest terms, the point of net neutrality existing is it's supposed to be a way to basically regulate the gatekeeper being your ISP from doing certain things, one of which is essentially making slow lanes and fast lanes. I'll phrase it that way, i.e. you have like one dumb pipe that's slow for accessing like these normal services, but you're giving favoritism or priority of network traffic to these other services, which typically would involve services that the ISP owns. So, for example, if Comcast wanted to compete in a more monopolistic way against video streaming services, they could say, give higher traffic and bitrate to Peacock for free, but slow down content loading to Hulu or Netflix or whoever it is they wanted to compete against. Not saying this has necessarily happened in that exact example, but we have seen some behavior that shows some favoritism, like when AT&T was zero-rating data to HBO Max only and not other streaming services, for example, with video, which would have went against the spirit of net neutrality because it shows unjust favoritisms to that video content provider. And it's the reason why T-Mobile was able to get away with binge on back then, because they applied it to all. But that would be like one of the things. So fast lanes, slow lanes. Other aspects would be when it comes to like charging or forcing a company to pay some like undue cost to get access to the customers. If Sneed scrolls down, I'm sure the three main bullet points are kind of there. Instead of me doing my poor memory job on this, or maybe they didn't. Maybe they're lazy. I don't know. And they didn't put it in there. But I really, it's the big ones, just making sure that all internet access is treated equally. If I had to put it in a sentence, all internet traffic is treated equally. That's the rule, essentially, of net neutrality. So whether you're visiting Hot Topic or the Hub, if you're paying for 300 meg, you'll get 300 meg to those services if that's what you paid for.
And is that not happening now?
Currently, there's not anything in place that says otherwise. Oh, are you asking, have companies done something like that to prevent that? Technically,
Have companies in America acted in such a way that makes this a necessity?
Technically, yes. Technically,
At scale? Or are we talking about a one-off situation? At scale? Is this happening at scale?
yeah, I would say technically yes. At scale, technically, you could argue that what companies like T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon are doing on mobile wireless connectivity with video, technically, would be a limitation. You're artificially lowering the speed available for loading up that content artificially. You can make that
So,
argument.
so with so without that being in place, what does America want ISPs to do to regulate traffic? If ISPs aren't allowed to do that, how do we regulate traffic? Because right now everything's unlimited, so it's just do whatever you want, and that's fine. But how do you regulate traffic? How do you regulate consumption? How do you regulate growth? How do you do those
Throttling.
things without them?
Throttling.
Okay, but you can. But if this is imposed, that's not something you can do based on what the technicality Dennis just said was. So, like, what do you? It seems more and more like people want ISPs to simply just be dumb pipes.
Yes, I was about
That
to
is
actually get to
that,
that.
and that's a
So what
recipe
does
for
America
disaster.
what does America want? America wants ISPs to be dumb pipes that provide the infrastructure and the capacity to handle whatever Americans need to do. That's
Will
what
never
they want.
happen.
Yeah.
Will never happen. Will never happen without a huge fight.
B,
Without a huge fight.
you asked what
Yeah, I
America
mean, you're
wants.
right, and I responded. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, I'm just saying it's not gonna happen. But I mean, at least not without a huge multi-year fight.
I mean, it's very simple. This one, basically, what's going to end up happening because they have the votes to do it is that they will get it done, right? Um, I reread the history about it from Vox just right now because it's been a long time since we've had to have this discussion on net neutrality. But the idea of QCI will no longer exist. I think the only
Yeah,
thing that will stay the same is for first responders. That would be excluded in the
no, but that's
conversation.
illegal. But
No,
that's
no, no.
illegal, right?
It'd have to be because in the sense of FirstNet, that's the federal government giving spectrum
E-
specifically for the use
exactly.
of first responders, right?
Which is a
But
which is a direct
what I want to ask.
contradiction
So what
from
I
the
want to
whole
ask,
thing.
guys.
It's a direct contradiction.
So what I want to ask is all these features that every network has: preemption, priority, QCI, premium plans, the terms on cellular plans all have to change. Because right now
It's
there are terms in cell phone plans, data connected devices, that indicate that they have specific types of access on the network, like Magenta MAX, like T-Mobile's plans, like Verizon plans, like you can use as much data without slowing down, like that. Like all these things have to change.
Yeah, that's right. So, I mean, the thing is that a lot of the ISPs were against net neutrality back in the days because they didn't have the bandwidth to support it. Right, that was a huge reason, and they don't want to pay the extra cost to content providers to keep on piping that through their service at that high rate. Um, so I am all for net neutrality. I think we got the BAM to support it. I think the customer needs to get what they pay for, and when it comes to net neutrality, nobody should be left without internet access. Everybody for Title II, internet access is a right, not a privilege. It's just as the same thing as electricity or water. Okay, you can't imagine. Can you imagine somebody who never had access to the internet? How would they function in society? How would they communicate with people? What would they do?
Well, if you were in
Right?
Amsterdam, you couldn't even hail down a taxi without the internet. So go ahead and continue.
Yeah, my point exactly. And you know what? People that are, yeah, it's definitely needed. We definitely need it, especially for 5G and everything. It's time, especially the 5G networks can handle it, and it's gonna be coming to a I'm kind of curious about the little number slicing thing. So I wouldn't necessarily consider. It's going to kind of be like this. So if you like 30 megs, right? Let's take for example 30 megs of downlink. You will get the way this should be. It's probably going to be divided up like this: is you have a whole network slice, unfettered access for that 30 megs. And I think kind of by doing that is you no longer have like a dumb pipe situation. You kind of have a network slice, a net a net neutral network slice, if you will, right? So
Yeah, I just want to say because I
that's
did a
how it's
bad
going
job.
to be.
I just want to say because I did a bad job explaining it. Because network management will still exist, right? Like it's just the way network management is handled wouldn't be done in the way it is done today, as
Right.
Caleb is touching on, right?
Right.
Like the spirit of it is if I buy 30 meg, I get 30 meg to everywhere I want to go. Right. That's the idea. And there's your network management beat. You're giving a certain portion of speed. It could be 5 meg. The point is that every service, if you're paying for 5 meg, should be able to access with that 5 meg. That's the point.
Exactly.
Not some
But that's
like
what's
artificial
happening. But that's what's happening now. People have a choice as far as what they want to pay for their network performance. And that's what's happening now.
But the QCI, the problem with the QCI,
But you're not always getting that though.
Yeah.
Like for example, okay, so let's say if 5 customers pay for 30 megs of high speed data. Okay, so you get people that are thinking, crowding the tower, right? And they're all 250 people crowding the tower, they're all network managed to hell, right? So what this is going to set up is, if you're paying for that high speed data for 30 megs, you're getting that no matter what, right? There's
But
has
how?
to be but
If there's
how it's via the network slice. So no
but
longer do you
200
have a
but network
Here, let me break it down. So no longer will you have a dumb pipe. You're going to have a dedicated network slice that says you are guaranteed, as long as you pay for it, you are guaranteed by law this high speed 30 megs of service. The ISP has to by law deliver it to you in that
Yeah,
fashion.
but didn't the FCC just issue that they propose for faster speed for definition of broadband?
Yes.
Yes, they
So
did.
if they
that's the
address
whole
that
crux of
piece, so if they address that piece, then this whole network slicing thing can get a little bit easier. You see what I'm saying, Zero Cool?
But the problem is that they have to set a high standard for the minimum definition of
Exactly.
broadband.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
example, so let's hope that gets defined with this net neutrality. It'd be nice to see the kind of two go together. To be honest with you, what would be nice to see, have it set above the bar. Don't set it below the bar. It's like okay, our 5G networks right now, as at this moment, can do mid-band, a gigabyte on mid-band, right? So set that as the standard. Like set that as the minimum standard. Don't go
Bro,
like
we were at 25 by 3 before.
Yeah.
yeah.
I just
Don't
want
you
set
to
it
want to
as
go to
25 by
gigabit?
3.
no. Can
I
I
That's
mean,
just
what I
point
would
out?
that's
do.
just
Can I just
that's
point out something too?
unrealistic, man.
Hold on, B. Hold
That's
on, B.
just not
One
realistic.
second, B. One second.
I've been
I just want to point out
I've been
something
hold,
really. I'll be real quick. One thing I just want to point out really quickly, and I really emphasize this because this is a fact. Historically speaking, net neutrality hasn't been applied to the wireless telcos. It's historically and really been written around for the traditional wireline providers and like
Yeah, but
home
now it's
broadband.
all fused, Dennis. You have home broadband providers are wireless providers.
Well, that's why it's more murky
Right.
in this coming back in black kind of version, but but that's why it's a little bit more murky. But I'm just saying historically the enforcement of it wasn't on the wireless telcos, which is why QCIs and things like that were able to exist just fine when net neutrality was in place back then. What it looks like today will be different because, as you just touched on, Sneed, wireless telcos are home internet providers now, so that's where it gets interesting. Go ahead, B.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Let's get B in here.
you cannot ask a wireless ISP that has a finite resource such as spectrum to deliver the same sort of speed and have the same sort of responsibilities as a wired ISP. It doesn't make sense. If we're going to have this happen, then the FCC needs to do a better job of allocating resources for this, and they suck at that. But that's what the government
agree.
does.
I
They
agree.
like that's what the government does. They push all of the blame for whatever problem they create, what they defined, they push it on private industry and say it's you guys' fault, and then they turn right back around and be horrible at their jobs. Like the
AB, what do you think
FCC
about this
has
being part of that negotiation, though? Right? Hey,
said
you
it
want
again.
to what do you think of this? What do you think about negotiations between carriers and the FCC? Like, hey, look, you want to do this net neutrality thing? We are going to need more
Massive
spectrum.
investment.
We are
Massive
going to need 200 additional megahertz of mid-band auctioned within the next 24 to 36 months.
Yep.
What I would
And
prefer, Sneed,
force their hand in the
I'm just
6,
being
7 gigahertz range, force their hand in the 12 gigahertz range, because right now they're doing a
Yep.
lot of stuff with home ISP, but wireless needs attention because wireless is now a home ISP.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
mean,
But
what
I
you're
want to go
saying makes
back and
sense.
I'm sorry. I just want to quickly emphasize really quickly here.
Hold on. Let's get B to finish real quick. Hang tight.
What I would love to see is the government fix itself before it tries to fix private industry. And the government always does this. It never fails. It wants to fix private industry and blame private industry for everything that's going on. It can't even regulate. It can't even fix itself. We don't have enough spectrum for this, guys. We can't ask spectrum dependent wireless telcos to be the same as AT&T Fiber or Verizon Fios or Comcast Xfinity.
Propose B.
It doesn't make
How much do they
sense.
need? How much do they need in the next 2 to 3?
To be honest with you, Sneed, I really don't even know. How are you going to serve Montana the same as you will New York City? That's very hard to do in 50 different states. It's hard to do. We're talking about different. We're talking about different network topologies and network topographies. We're talking about different landscape. This is a dream, and it sounds good. It sounds great until you have to actually implement it and build it. Jesus Christ! I mean, we just talked
but
about a shortage of network engineers, and now we're dreaming and playing Peter
Yeah, but
Pan.
B,
Oh my God!
I think the carriers would be wise to leverage some of these ideas against the FCC and say, look, we might be able to do some of these things. We just need you on our side, supporting us in us doing it.
Yeah, you're
Like
right. I mean, get out of the way
Deal.
because there's been
Not
so
just get
much
out of the way,
progress
though,
over
B. Not just get out of the way. Get out of the way after they give you the resources. So if they say to the carriers, here's this, this, and this, now do. And then the carriers can be like, cool, and now get out of the way and let them do it.
I mean, okay, so I mean that makes sense. I hear what you're saying, and I certainly acknowledge that what you're saying has credibility, Sneed. It just frustrates me that we have all of these types of ideas get thrown out there by the government when they are part of the problem. They always have been. I'm not sure that net neutrality is even a problem.
Let me tell you why B's right,
anything,
guys. Let me tell you why B's right. You see this lady here? She was unable to assign T-Mobile Spectrum licenses from Spectrum Auction 108. She wanted like hell to do it, but she literally said, I don't want to go to jail.
Yeah, you
right?
can't.
So she had that problem.
The full commission.
She also had a problem with the FAA. She also had a problem being -1 FCC commissioner. Like, the FCC is a mess. It's been a mess. It was a mess under Ajit Pai. It's a mess under Wheeler. It was a mess under everything. It's never been good. It's worse now than it's ever been, probably. And she's tried her best. But she's been absolutely disabled. So she's fighting for something on principle. But it's disorganized, it's misguided, and quite frankly, it's disingenuous to say that they want ISPs, home ISPs, and carriers to do certain things, but they're not enabling them to actually do it to the level that would support the citizens of the country. Like, we're still having issue and interference with C-band, dog. Like, that's not done yet.
So
if you want ISPs, I'm sorry, I'll say this and then I'll get out of your way. I apologize. If you want ISPs, whether they're wireless or wired, if you want them to perform better, again, be a better partner, be a better regulator, do your job better, FCC. And then from there, we have the progress because it's been happening over the last 2 or 3 years. Since the pandemic, we've probably progressed 10 years. as it pertains to performance on the network, whether it's wired or wireless, as it pertains to the rollout of these things, man, private industry, particularly this industry, has been asking for public-private partnerships like BEAD funding for decades. And the federal government kicked the can down the road for years. And the only reason that we have the progress that we have now is because a pandemic came that wiped out hundreds of thousands of people across the world. If it wasn't for that catastrophe, we'd still be having the government kicking the can down the road. Instead of blaming private industry, the government needs to do its job consistently for once. Instead of blaming private industry for every problem that's going on in the country. Again, the BEAD funding, the companies have been asking for that for years. And now that that funding is there, people are getting access to high quality internet that never would have gotten it before. What is the problem? What are we talking about right now? What's the issue?
Okay.
Yeah. Hold on, let me go really quick and then go, Dennis. Yeah, you're right, B. I agree. I think just one quick point. I do hope that with the Title II, I hope that the FCC can hopefully set, if they do the Title II passed, I hope they can set some price fixing that no wireless ISP can charge more than, let's say, like $100 for wireless. If they're going to do the net neutrality, they need to impose that regulation, in my view.
So there's a few things I need to say. First, let's not misconstrue Title II and net neutrality, because net neutrality was in place before Title II conversation even existed. Second point I just want to say really quickly before we say the sky is falling is net neutrality says nothing about what speeds need to be offered by ISPs. An ISP could offer less than whatever definition of broadband is and still offer that as a service. They just can't call it broadband. There's no saying like what speed needs to be offered. It's just that if you're going to offer a service, if you're going to offer 5 meg, all websites get to have access to that 5 meg, regardless. You don't get to control and then say music streaming 600 kilobits and YouTube is 1 meg and other things like that. Also, I will say I didn't bring this up, but net neutrality also prevents, or there's a thing in there that prevents censorship as well. So like you can't stop someone from accessing some website on your service either. It's basically yes. Net neutrality at its core is basically just trying to say that the ISP can't be the one that dictates. They can't be the gatekeeper that decides what you can access, where you can access it, and play favorites on how fast you can access that thing. You just need to be a dumb pipe in the same way that your water company just charges you a rate for your gallons of water. In your electric company, you just pay a rate per kilowatt hour. You can dictate the price, but you don't get to tell me what device I get to plug into my outlets. I just get to do it because you're
I know the ISPs need to be like a restaurant, right? Say I want 10 scallops. They better be good. That's it.
That's right. Scallop gang in the house. Hit them with the hashtag scallop gang.
Internet policy. Sam said it a different way, but basically, yeah, an open internet policy.
All right, guys.
Millimeter wave is being deployed. There's only one company that. You know what? It's fine. It is what it is. Go ahead, Sneed. I apologize. I said I won't go get mad tonight. I'm not. Go ahead.
All right. We'll pray on it, bro. We'll pray on it. 1/5 of China's broadband users access speeds of 1 gigabit per second or above. 22% of broadband customers in China have access to downlink speeds of at least 1 gigabit per second.
That's awesome.
ITU says another 100 million people worldwide gained internet access over the past year. All right, so we got some information. Man, that is so. I don't know what the U.S. data is, but I would assume that the number of people who have access to gigabit speed is probably a little bit less than 22% in the U.S. I'd say it's probably closer to 10%. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would say you're wrong. If the question is, do you have access to it, and not regarding cost, 85% of the population.
No, you mean wireless, right, Sneed? You mean wireless or just all broadband?
I mean, it says broadband, so I'm counting wireless and home ISP.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, America, it's like 85%.
Yeah, it would be 85. Yeah, but for wireless, it's more like just 10 or whatever. But yeah, I mean China. Good for this is good. This is a win for them. We just need to. We got. Geez, I mean, this goes back to the FCC conversation. We need to do better. We need to be like. We need to be better than China. We need to have like 50% of people, 1 gigabyte, on wireless or better. Would be nice to have.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys. First of all, I agree with you, zero cool. You're right. Part of the reason why China's moving so fast is they don't have nearly as much red tape. We have 50 states here. We have 3,000 counties. 50 states, 3,000 counties. We got 50 different ways of doing things in one federal government, and there's always a bunch of infighting. Whereas China just says, "This is what we're doing, and we're not asking you for permission. We need to dig right here, move." Period, and then it gets done. So I mean, we can do that, but do we want to give up those freedoms, or do we want to keep? I mean, at the end of the day, part of the reason why this country doesn't move fast is because it wasn't designed to move fast. Like the people who came together and said, "This is the country we're going to put together and we're going to establish our government," they built it so it wouldn't get anything done quickly. They want slow change. That's what they asked for. This is where we live. We live in a country that's built for slow change. One federal government that at first, at its inception, wasn't designed to do anything but national defense pretty much, now is being asked to do way more. But then you got 50 different states that say, "Well, no, I don't want to do that. Well, no, I don't want to do that. Well, no, I don't want to do that. Well, no, I don't want to do that." So when the Republican FCC under Trump was in place, they, for example, put together, "Hey, we're going to have this permit policy. This is the set price across the nation. This is what it is." And all the Democratic states said, "Nah, we're not doing that." And so we're going to obstruct that as much as we possibly can. There's always infighting in this country. And so because of that, it's very difficult to not be political sometimes. And I'm sorry, I don't want to disrespect anyone because I acknowledge that there are differences of opinion. I really, really do. But China is able to move because they nip that in the bud. And I'm not saying I agree with that, but there are positives and negatives to everything in life, good or
Well,
bad.
they also don't have regulatory bodies. They also don't have safety standards.
China.
That's exactly right.
Everything,
that's exactly right. Now those are negatives.
Like everything that exists on any type of check doesn't exist there, right? So,
Right.
like there's no EPA, for example, in China.
Very true.
Oh,
Very true.
Which is why you can't drink the tap water there. So,
but they got
in China. I'm not even joking. Their water's so bad that it's not even safe for agricultural use. But this said,
but they got internet.
But this said, apparently not. This says broadband in general. So I'm assuming it's all internet connectivity, and only 22% have access to that gig. We in America are doing way better than that.
And it's 22% of 1.8 billion. Could you do the math, please?
Yes, I understand that. Right. I'm thinking about it from a geographic standpoint, like the amount of space covered. America's a big freaking country. The fact that we got 85% of our country covered. We
don't have 85% of our country covered. We have pops. If you were talking about
85% of our people covered in our country with at least access to gig is very impressive.
So I'm just trying to figure out why
how much they charge for internet, because here in order to get a gig you got to spend $100.
Well, the question wasn't about cost. It's just saying that gig is available. For all we know, in China it's 300.
I was thinking aloud, dog. Damn, son. I was just asking. I'm like, I wonder what it would. What they pay for a gig, because for us we pay about 100. I wonder in China what the average cost for the gig would be.
I actually kind of know the answer to it. I think
let's hear it, Dennis.
If my conversions are right, it's roughly $30.
Oh damn.
I mean, it was 25. It was $25 for fixed wireless access, and I mean they were doing a gig on fixed wireless before. I think Verizon made changes, and I think T-Mobile as well. You could get a gigabit for $25. What was this, 3 months ago? I mean, I think there are people who are still grandfathered into that. So I mean,
there's a very small. You're talking like 0.1% of fixed wireless customers are getting gig from Verizon. Like you had to be on a mmWave to get gig.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, but we know that mmWave is not the only technology that will provide you gigabit speeds.
Verizon caps
like C-band will as well.
Verizon caps on internet users 300.
Yeah. I mean, they do now, but they didn't when they first brought out fixed wireless. It was $25 a month. and it wasn't capped at 300. So I
It was
mean, this is a
always
recent. This is all right. Go ahead, Sneed.
Yeah, man, this is good for those folks, I suppose. I don't know the terms of everything. Dennis kind of clued us in on some of the cost stuff. They got catching up to do, right? This is a country that obviously has economic ambitions. I know that they have some real estate related issues with their economy. I know a lot of people talk a lot of smack about the US economy, but trust me, folks, we are in a lot better position than China is. But we do like to outcompete our competitors, and China is definitely one of them. At least that's the storyline within like the narrative of the media, right? And this is something we heard during the T-Mobile and Sprint merger. We haven't heard anything from it since, but we always hear about China, right? Outcompeting China and being better than them. And even though they have this like communist dictatorship, whatever you want to call it, right? It's all one cause or whatever. It's we still compete, and I think it's a testament to our dedication to technology and allowing it to push us forward. So I'm happy where the US is in that respect because China is clearly behind in terms of the percentage of folks with that type of speed. All right,
Well
let's
said.
get to this. Let's get to this next thing. Yeah, big shout out to the ISPs here in the US. They're doing big things. And now actually to kind of I don't often speak glowingly of big cable. They're about to invest a bunch of money into their networks, into their DOCSIS upgrades, and that'll make cable great again.
Yeah.
So here we go. All right, Mobilex bets big on Walmart. What's next? All right, Las Vegas. Mobilex kicked off MWC in Vegas Tuesday morning. Multi-year exclusivity deal with Walmart, elevating the MVNO standing in the U.S. prepaid business. Mobilex is a new company. For those of you that don't know what Mobilex is, they're basically a service that runs over the MVNO Verizon network agreement, and they offer, kind of like this pay by the gig setup where you get this app, this AI platform in which the Mobilex platform learns your usage patterns, predicts what you're going to use for gigs for a month, and then tells you how much it's going to cost you. And it kind of encourages you kind of in a direction of what type of plan that you should have. They do offer some unlimited plans. They've got those traditional, prepaid unlimited limitations, ironically. And so they've got this app, they've got this AI, they've got this learning process and onboarding process that makes the service unique. And it's on the Verizon network, so you're going to have, the nation's arguably largest network in the country and very capacitive and fast in a lot of places and very quickly getting modernized. So now for Mobilex, the focus is it's retail, right? Getting into Walmart stores for this company is huge, right? And I know that Walmart was looking for competitors to come in and bring new fire to the space because things have been stale, right? Boost Mobile, I don't know if Mint is in Walmart. I don't know what track phone is left in there. I don't know how all that goes. But getting Mobilex in there, putting a new brand in there, putting a new platform in there, a new business model, and, kind of seeing how this business model does in a place like Walmart intrigues me. When I think of Walmart, I think of very traditional prepaid purchasing of like SIM cards, right? And the founder of Mobilex is the former founder of Boost, and he understands how this platform can be leveraged, but he also understands the old-fashioned way of doing business still matters. There's still customers who do traditional prepaid things, SIM cards, you need reps, you need retail space. So this to me was the last thing that we have yet to see from Mobilex, and that was retail, that was stores, that was people to explain what the service does, how it works, and a place to sell it, right? So you could do things online, and you could do things on Twitter and X, and you could do all this stuff, but there is a contingent of customers that operate through retail, and it's the same thing I said about Verizon when they got track phone, right? Those are traditional retail operating customers. It was wise and smart for Verizon to approach Total by Verizon, create retail space so people can go to these stores and do business the way that they know. You cannot abandon large consumer segments that consist of 20, 30, 40, 50 million consumers, right? So give me your take, Moose. I don't, Moose, if you're still here, I think you are. Mobilex, Walmart, got anything for me?
You know, long time coming. Walmart is big, right? They have a lot of stores US wide. Um, I'm not going to be surprised if Target is next. Um, or even Sam's Clubs, right? That's also a possibility because they have partnership with Walmart. But ideally, right, Mobile X would be good in any of these type of stores. For example, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aids, right? Um, 7-Elevens, very popular prepaid cards there. So, stuff like this definitely is necessary because it's going to take some share from the carriers, especially cable MVNOs. I believe that they're going to be also fighting for this price point in the market. So more to come.
All right, let's get B in on this. Walmart, Mobile X, what's your take, B?
I actually think this is great. Um, it's good to see Mobilex continuing to spread their wings and get out there. To your point, Sneed, as far as what Verizon's doing, anything that they can do to assist or anything that a company that's affiliated with them can do to push their brand, that only helps that company as well. Um, at the end of the day, choice is good for all of us. It's good for all the consumers and whatnot. So, yeah, put it out there, put it in the face of the customers, put it in the hands of the customers, and create your base. This is a good thing. I don't see how anybody loses with this. This is good. I'm with it.
All right. So I'm getting the vibes that we all kind of like what we see here, and we think that there's potential growth from this, right? That's the biggest retailer in the country. All right, Dennis, is there anything that you want to add with respect to the scale of this, or kind of like, what do you think the potential is now that we've seen this happen? Anything that you want to add?
I think that the potential of this for Mobile X is very high. I think there's a lot of upside for them, as you've touched on before. Walmart is the largest retailer in the United States, and I believe they're also the largest prepaid seller in the traditional
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
So I think this is huge for them in that aspect, and I think that the unique shtick with the platform and the AI being able to help predict usage and stuff like that, essentially help educate consumers, right? Because your everyday consumer is not that smart when it comes to it's not that they're not smart, they don't pay attention to things like data, they don't know what they use. Being able to communicate and educate that to the customer, and then as such be able to offer them a more lower cost plan since they're not forced to sell unlimited, seems very effective. And even if they're not doing the unlimited, the more traditional plans that they announced come in at very aggressive price points. The 5 gig unlimited talk and text plan that they announced, that unlimited 5 gig or basic unlimited plan, they call it, right? 5 gigs unlimited talk and text for $14.88. I believe, I don't quote me on this, but I believe that is the cheapest plan for 5 gigs of data that you can get.
It is. It is. Yeah.
The only thing that comes close is Mint, but Mint requires you to buy a year in advance, and this is month to month. And the more expensive unlimited plan, the 30 gig one, well, that one might not be the cheapest priced unlimited plan in the market with the likes of Visible existing. It's still very, very competitive, especially when you're comparing it to the prepaid options that are available on like a Walmart retail store shelf, right? Because I don't think Visible's sold in store, unless I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but if you're comparing it alongside things like Boost or Straight Talk, that 2488 plan with 30 gigs of data and then the unlimited calling and texting to Mexico, which I know is probably important for the Walmart demographics. I know there's a lot of Hispanic community people that go to Walmart to purchase their prepaid SIMs. It seems like it's well targeted for that demographic. And then yeah, I think it's good. I think the pricing's competitive. I think the partnership with Walmart was a smart one, especially off the back of the Amazon deal that Boost had. The only thing I think Mobilex will need to work on is just continuing to improve their infrastructure, because we do know that they use some of their own custom infrastructure, and that might be a bottleneck for them when they're looking to grow in this space.
I like to see them in Best Buy.
That should get better with time. I think they scale that better in the future.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Zero Cool.
Yeah, I like to see them in real quick. I'd like to see them in Best Buy real quick. I wish they would have struck a deal with them too. But more stores, more the better. So good for them. They're doing good.
I think Moose was onto something there with Target. That type of retailer just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Why? What about them makes? I'm sorry if I'm not understanding. What about Target specifically makes them a good?
It's just it's the reach. It's the number of stores. It's just all the distribution.
All the hot ladies are at Target.
Yeah, but if you're talking about distribution, right? The king of there's two companies that are the king of distribution in this country, and that's Amazon and Walmart. They've mastered their logistics, and
yeah, but if you go into Walmart, you're not really needing to go to Amazon.
No, I'm saying
because Walmart has their own online distribution.
Yeah, no, you misunderstood what I'm saying. I'm saying that you were talking about distribution with Target. I'm saying there's two companies in this country that have mastered distribution as a whole. Amazon is one of them, and Walmart is one of them. They both mastered logistics. So if you had,
I've never been to an Amazon store.
I'm talking about getting an item to a consumer.
Yeah, like online.
Sure, but that would be online distribution only.
Zero Cool. Am I the? Do you understand what I'm trying to get at?
I do. So here's the thing. So think of it like this, Sneed. Okay, so Walmart not only has their stores, but they also have grocery delivery. Okay, they have that.
That was my point, actually.
But Amazon kind of has almost the same thing. You can do. I mean, it's like comparing like Uber Eats and Grubhub together, kind of type of deal. They both have their whatever, So
yeah, but the physical store is the point for Target. It's
but Target,
I think, has made a lot of room. Like, haven't they gotten rid of some brands within the retail space? I feel like that's opportunity, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, they're not as I think what Dennis is saying. They're not as adaptable as what Walmart would be. It seems like Walmart is always the first of something. They're probably going to be flying around.
What I'm getting at is Mobilex what I'm really getting at is Mobilex is a startup, right? They're not a Verizon. They're not your traditional fleshed out carrier, right? Walmart, from a synergistic standpoint, solves a lot of the more complex logistical challenges that a company would be facing at time of scale. Whether it be from a simplification of inventory management, because Walmart has very sophisticated inventory management, just like Amazon does with their Amazon like Prime warehouses. They have the robust .com system. Getting into retail and having some foot presence is like a nice icing on the cake. It's like free branding too, because you're getting exposed to customers in that sense. From a decision making standpoint, when you have limited resources, the partnership with Walmart for a business makes more sense in this situation than, say, a Target for just the retail presence points, because you're only solving one part of the problem. Now you have to figure out how you're going to actually fill all those shelves at Target when you haven't solved those other pieces. Is sort of what I was going for.
Gotcha. All right.
You know what? I got one more last comment. Why hasn't I think it would be kind of cool if if the startup company is Visible and Mint and Mobilex, just mail some trial SIM cards in the mail to people. Get it out there. That'd be kind of sweet just to have
easy answer. Money. It's a waste of it's a waste of limited fund bucks. And also, I would not call Mint a startup anymore, nor would I call Visible a startup when they're owned by T-Mobile and Verizon respectively. The closest thing to a startup right now would be like a US Mobile, and even them I wouldn't call a startup because they've been around now for 5-6 years. So Yeah, but no, the answer, money for money
No,
and
for sure.
resources.
Yeah.
That's your answer on why that doesn't happen. Because like those sims, I think they cost like a physical sim kit. I think
It's a good dollar to make.
well, the sim itself, but to actually spend the money, but you got to spend more money than just that, right? You got to spend money on the packaging and the artistic materials that you're sending along with it. You're probably looking at, I would say net total with all the shipping and everything, you're probably looking at $20.
Yeah,
$20 easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget the free beanie it comes with.
Oh man, if Mobilex made a beanie, bro, oof, I'd have.
Would it be the extra medium beanie, or would it? What would it be?
I mean, look, I have an AT&T beanie. I don't think I have a Verizon beanie. Someone from Verizon needs to fix that. But I got an AT&T beanie, a T-Mobile beanie. I got a Project Genesis beanie. I got.
You know how there's what is it? Metro by T-Mobile, and then there's Total by Verizon.
Yeah.
We need a home broadband by Beanie. That's what we need.
Dude, yeah, since you mentioned Metro, I want a t-shirt that says yada yada on it from Metro.
I can get you access to all the stores, Dennis, if you want. Every single, carrier store.
Heck yeah.
Are you guys ready for this next story?
Yeah.
All right. Verizon's Joe Russo explains why being first with 5G SA wasn't a priority. All right, I just got to say this right now because you got to start off all conversations about 5G. All right, T-Mobile is the GOAT in 5G. T-Mobile is the ultimate man, and literally Verizon is in last place in everything, and they're admitting it right here. Sneed. They are third of three. All right,
you got a point.
B, I know you're saying
what?
But
I got a point. Who said that? Was that real cool?
I just want to say really quickly. I know this panel likes to joke around, but I mean this sincerely. I sincerely, wholeheartedly, actually mean this.
Don't you dare!
T-Mobile's network is actually legitimately pretty good. Like now that I've had the experience of in Amsterdam and that connectivity, any qualms that I have at the T-Mobile network seem pale in comparison. It's actually pretty good, and it was also really good at the airports. They've improved a lot at the airports. So
listen, man, I just gotta say, listen,
truly
man,
living in our
when we look at the root
I'm not
metrics,
joking.
When we look at the root metrics, all right, they tell us that AT&T's got the best national network. All right, when we look at Ookla, Umlaut, and everybody else, it's T-Mobile. So what? What are we supposed to do?
Umlaut?
Yes, Umlaut. Yes.
Spell it.
Umlaut.
Yes. Spell it. Spell it.
Sneed's joking.
You don't even know how to spell it.
I don't know how to spell it, but it doesn't matter.
Sneed's joking, but I'm actually being dead serious. I'm actually being dead serious about what I'm trying to say right now. Like T-Mobile's network is actually pretty good. Like I'm not joking, like at all. I'm being dead serious.
I think it's all the carriers are at 1 gigabyte now. They're all there. It's fine. In a way, this article is it's kind of a it's like a 2-coin article, right? Because it's just everybody's there at 1 gigabyte. Who gives a rip if you're not first with SA? I think the more important thing is who is there first with 1 gigabyte midband.
It was T-Mobile, dog.
It actually was T-Mobile, unironically.
Yeah, I know.
Well, hold on.
They launched first, so yeah,
that's my point.
Millimeter wave.
Who is this person that's echoing?
Oh, damn, we got an echo. He's coming soon. Could you have like a mic or anything?
I don't know who it is.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Oh, who is it?
One of the SMT Nation. Like he's either I think a member or a patron. Yeah. So it's all.
He's not on SA.
Fix the echo though. He's coming soon. What's going on, brother? No, not working. See if we can get his audio right. So yeah. Technically, I think Verizon was the first gigabit speed with millimeter wave. So I mean, if we're gonna keep it a buck, right?
Well, he said with
scaling it.
He said
right, but in terms of geographical scaling, it's T-Mobile. They had the 5G stimulus package, man, from the Sprint deal, so they were able to do it. But this particular article, is based on some interview that Fierce had or whatever with Joe Russo.
All right, you hear me?
Yes, man, but we got an echo. Oh man, we're gonna have to see if we can get maybe some kind of a microphone on you or something. If you got a mic or headphones, that would help.
Yeah, I'll switch to my headset. Give me a second.
Okay. Yeah, so basically what the story circles back to is T-Mobile launched a nationwide 5G SA core, and Verizon has yet to do that. And the question is when are you going to do it, Verizon? And they said, well, we're kind of taking our time. We're not rushing it. It's not a priority for us to just launch a SA core if it doesn't offer a benefit to our customers. So let me start first with Zero Cool. Do you like that approach? Or do you think they should have been a little bit more cutting edge, bleeding edge, and had a little bit more urgency with respect to the SA 5G?
With respect to the SA 5G, I just want to say it's good for carriers to go at the pace that they previously have been. So what I mean by that is it took Verizon, when I was at Verizon, it took them 3 years fully to optimize the VoLTE parity to where it is now. It's like the same approach to this 5G SA. Okay, that's fine. This is called consistency. I call it network consistency. This is good. This is who Verizon is. That's cool. Whatever. I don't have a problem with it. This is who they are. Now, if they're gonna, the problem comes into say, it's like a change in character, right? But I just, this is fine for Verizon. It's who they are. They're the the slow and steady, champion, right? So good for them.
All right, let me get to the super chat real quick before I get to the next panel member. Green, to answer your question, and thank you for the super chat. The issue that AT&T is facing on borders with respect to their C-band, you got to remember, AT&T has different blocks of C-band than Verizon. Their blocks are a higher frequency, so they're closer to the 4 gigahertz range. Verizon's on the lowest range at 3.7. So there is a bit of a difference there. Those adjacent blocks between satellite, Intelsat, and that like Mexican TV channel or whatever, those problems probably aren't going to be an issue at Verizon. It's probably going to be specific to AT&T. Now, it might impact T-Mobile because I think T-Mobile's up there in those higher frequencies too. So I think Verizon might be escape unscathed here. I think. We'll see. But thank you for the super chat. Yes, millimeter wave all things, sir. Yes. Okay. With respect to SA and Verizon being way behind T-Mobile, Dennis, talk to me.
So I'm gonna be honest, and I know I'm gonna piss off B when I say this, but I think the only reason why Verizon has taken this stance is just straight up because they weren't able to meet the timelines to be first.
Yeah, that's right, Dennis. Tell him, yeah.
I'm not trying to say this in a joking way. I'm being sincere. If we look back at Verizon's track record historically, like when Verizon was first to LTE, because they were the first to LTE, they ran with that football field all the way to the touchdown zone, right? Verizon obviously had some things against them that prevented them from being first in a lot of areas, and the 5G standalone core, or the 5G standalone access, excuse me, is a smaller component of things to work to being first to. Like I kind of, the benefits haven't really came or aren't clear yet on what a 5G standalone access actually does, right? So like there is a little bit of merit to what they're saying. Like the benefits aren't there yet because the use cases haven't come yet. And it's kind of like that question of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. There is an immediate pressing need for it, but it doesn't mean that they should be also being lackadaisically like lazy or not making it a priority, because we know that we know that if they don't get their infrastructure in place, there's opportunity costs that they're going to miss out on when it comes to future business endeavors whenever those do come around, right? T-Mobile being first, even if it's screwed up, even if it's buggy, because they're first, they get to have firsthand experience with it and work out those kinks, and assuming that they do things correctly, inevitably get to the same end result that Verizon might get to, but maybe a little bit more painful to the customer. It's all a wait and kind of see approach though when it comes to that. Anyway, TLDR, I don't know. I could see both sides. But I sincerely think that Verizon mainly took this take because probably internally they weren't able to achieve the results they wanted and not within a timely manner.
That's right, Dennis. That's right. B, let me get you in here.
All right, let me try this. Is the echo gone now?
Yeah, nice. Good. I hear you loud and clear. No echo.
All right, yeah. I have to just switch to my headset. Thank you for sending me the link there, Sneed. I've barked at you a couple times. It's just me. He's coming soon. I've talked to Sneed a few times, and I finally became a member to the channel, and I got this link. Just want to say thanks, folks, for letting me in.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and supporting us. We appreciate everybody, and thanks for directly supporting us.
Yeah, nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, so, and then for me, my background is I am an FCC licensed ham radio operator, and I, for the longest time, troubleshot Sprint's network in my local area for them to the point where their Ashburn Center actually sent somebody to my house wondering how the hell I figured out everything that I knew.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's right. That's what I do. Nice. Nice work.
You were a quality assurance engineer. Were they paying you?
Hell no.
Ah, man.
No, that's why I switched to Verizon, and I've been digging into their network, as you've seen me post to you on Twitter a few times there, Sneed.
How's it been for you, bro?
Better than Sprint, but as you mentioned...
Verizon doesn't have network issues. What are you talking about?
I know.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. We'll have a separate sidebar about that one. There are the weird behavior I'm seeing up here in the Frederick County area of Maryland is when the network performance goes to crap. I mean, we're talking about a megabit down and the upload test fails. I'll see 3x CA, 4x CA, 5x CA, sometimes on low band. And anytime I see carrier aggregation on Verizon's network, I get scared because it's trash every time.
Wow.
It's the opposite for me, my man. If I don't see carrier aggregation, it's trash. If I'm on band 13 only, I want to die.
Yeah. So it's as Sneed said. I think it's if you're not in one of the top 50, top 75, where Sneed said possibly top 100 markets, you're still on their legacy network.
Yeah. There's a lot.
Now, here's what's weird. You go about 15, 20 miles to the east off of I-70 in a little bitty town called Mount Airy, and they've got 3,700 megahertz C-band, 500 to 800 megabits down, and 75 to 100 megabits up all day long. But
all over that city? Just all over
that city.
Place?
Yeah. Weirdest thing I've ever seen.
That means they were able to get their permits. They were able to get the crews out there. It almost sometimes feels like they threw darts at the wall and they're like, all right, that's where we're going next. And because like some people will be in the middle of rural America and they're like, hey, look at these 5 sites they upgraded out here. I never thought Verizon was going to be here in 2023. So we've seen that randomness happen at Verizon.
But then you go.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, if we're talking about Verizon, Verizon deploys random millimeter waves, small cells in the most obscure places. Like, Sneed, I told you about Burgettstown, right? How there was a millimeter wave site by this little gazebo for a small town of like less than 1,000 people.
You know what I think happens there? They have a little bit of budget, and they're like, hey, let's get some nodes out here, and they can permit it. The engineering team puts it together, and they build it.
They're just trying to catch up with that T-Mobile network.
That we do. Yeah, everybody has got the Verizon. Got an iPhone. You can turn on your SA with iOS 17, the latest version. So let's get. So
So I just want to comment on the adjectives used to describe Verizon. So Zero Cool, I think, called Verizon slow and steady, and I think that
I said they were. I didn't say like slow.
Consistent.
I said they were consistent.
Consistently slow. Good.
That does not mean slow.
Can I push a
Consistent
little? Can I
means
push back
do
a little
the
bit?
same
Can I
thing over.
Zero Cool? Can I push back a little bit?
As long as it's in my favor, sure.
All right. Well, it's not. It's not, and I'm going to tell you why. Verizon just built 230 million pops of C-band in 19 months.
slow and steady.
I've
though.
never seen
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before in my life.
I
Not
said
AWS.
consistent.
I don't
Now,
understand.
hold
We
on.
don't. We're not even. We're not even. We're not even talking about. We're not even talking about.
Consistent meaning network excellence. That's what I mean.
Hold
Network
on.
excellence. That's what I
No,
mean,
I'm not
consistent.
talking about AWS. I'm not talking about N41. I'm not talking about 5G plus. Nobody's been able to build that fast. So as much as I wish Verizon would do more, it's really more has never been done before like this. So I have to be objective and say what they've done so far is impressive, but there is still more work to do.
And can I be
Yet
objective
it's
in
still.
saying that the idea of and can I be objective in saying that this idea that Verizon is the most consistent is honestly not true? They've had just as many
No.
problems.
But there's data that exists though.
No.
Okay.
They've
I
had
disagree.
they have the same
Consistency.
problems that other wireless carriers have had with the
It
5G
means
rollout.
network excellence.
Somebody's
That's what
got
I mean by
feedback.
that. Not
Somebody's got
the
feedback.
pace.
So as far as the standalone core is concerned, I think that what Dennis was saying before, there's a lot of credibility to what Russo was saying because it's not like there's like, a bunch of use cases and everything for standalone to be pushed out so quickly. But Verizon seems to be competing very well with respect to network speeds, performance, overall 5G performance, without even having the standalone core in service nationally. So what you have is T-Mobile that everyone says is fast and so forth and so on. They've got everything turned up. They've got all the bells and whistles. They got standalone core, all these types of things, and they're still not winning anywhere that C-band is turned up with Verizon. So it makes sense to me what Russo was saying. There's not really a competitive advantage to rushing that product to market when they're competing with all their traffic still being processed by their 4G core. So it makes a lot of sense to me. Work the kinks out, whatever the problems are, because you've already been innovative enough. We're not talking about 5G without Verizon. Nobody was pushing to advance the industry from LTE to 5G except for Verizon. So we're not even talking about any of this stuff without Big Red. So I mean, I just
No, that's
I
not
don't
true.
understand. I don't understand.
Magenta was pushing
No,
hard.
no, stop it. Yes, it is. Yes, it is true. Yes, it is true.
Dude,
Back during those days,
they're pushing so
back during
hard they had
those
to eat
days,
another company. Come on.
during those days, John Ledger was saying 5G wasn't even needed. I'm talking about all the way back then. He was saying 5G wasn't even needed. So I mean, and a lot of that
they
was
didn't have any money to buy any spectrum.
But B,
exactly.
Don't listen to what they say. Listen to what they do.
But that's the thing. What did he do? He didn't do anything in relation to 5G, but buy another company. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. He was.
But that didn't happen. That didn't happen until years late. That didn't happen until years later, though.
I'll say something that'll make B happy.
Guys,
I'll say something that'll make you happy, B. If we want to look at the benefits of standalone, look at Project Genesis. What did standalone green native core do for Project Genesis? Diddly squat. Every carrier that's still doing NSA is doing better. So yes, standalone. Yes,
but it's not because of the technology. That's just because of CapEx.
But I was gonna say standalone core and what it can do on paper and standalone access has a lot of benefits within spec, but there's not a clear product or service at the moment that can take advantage of it, with the exception of maybe the home broadband user for the lower latency.
But T-Mobile has the best voice over NR. Where's Verizon's voice over NR?
I mean, T-Mobile's voice over NR, it varies wildly by location. I'll just say that. Utah, sure, it sounds great.
Pittsburgh, but it's out. Yeah. It's out. Where's Verizon's? Come on.
I don't know. But going back to what I said, I think they took this. I think Verizon and Joe Russo took this stance because they couldn't be first, and that's fine. I'm not saying that it's a problem, but I'm just saying that they
But the
took this
iPhone 12 dropped. Hans said 5G just got real. That was 3 years ago, dog.
Correct. I saw those gator shoes, bro.
We saw the Gators. We seen shackles and Gators, dog. You know, I mean, look, we got a panel. What, 5 of us, 6 of us? All right, I just need to know, C or no? Is T-Mobile the 5G GOAT? Blind G.
See,
He's coming. Unmute yourself. Tell me, is T-Mobile the 5G GOAT? C or no?
I know you ain't
Unmute
asking me. I know you're
I
asking
don't
me.
know because I haven't used T-Mobile, so I wouldn't be able to answer that question.
All right.
Smart
Zero
man.
cool. C or no?
I'm sorry, I was trying to answer an email. What was the question?
Is T-Mobile the 5G GOAT? C or no?
Yes, they are.
B, you better answer this, and you better be right.
Absolutely not. No, they're not the 5G GOAT.
wrong.
No. No.
Who brought 5G to rural first? T-Mobile.
All right, we got another super chat. This one's for Green. My family is using 1.6 terabytes a month of data a month, and it's increasing every year. Where do you guys think the average person's data usage will be in 2030? I think what do you guys want to go? 1.5 tera?
I think there's an
Only
echo.
1.6 terabytes?
No,
I mean,
3
average right
terabytes.
now is between like 500 and 600 gigs.
That's
We're going
I
up
mean, it depends
20%
on.
annually, right?
that's a little over 6 years, and like in telecom time, that's a long time.
I think it
Well, I'll
depends
tell you
on.
this. Go ahead, Dennis.
He's coming soon. You're the one with the echo, but I think it depends heavily on what new services come about, right? Like so there's two main. Historically speaking, in the broadband space, there's been two main reasons why we've seen data consumption go up. Part of it was because speeds got faster, but the more important part is that as speeds became faster, new services came about to actually take advantage of these higher broadband speeds, right? Like we went from going from streaming video in like regular standard def to 1080p
Yeah, it's
being the
video.
norm
Yeah.
to 4K being the norm. But I don't see a jump coming from 4K to like 8K here in like the next 6 years happening. Because
See, that's what I was thinking, Dennis. I think it's going to be a little bit of 4K content is going to drive up the usage. That's what it's going to be.
But even that has a limit, right? There's only so much content you can watch in so many hours. The big question here is going to be how much augmented reality and virtual reality come into play as far as the mainstream goes. Where that happens?
When? Wouldn't it be when? Like, is it mainstream by 2030?
Yeah, it's going to be when, and that will dictate how much data traffic goes up. Personally, based off the rate at which increases have happened as an average, I'm going to say that it's probably going to be right around 1.2 terabytes. That's going to be my safe bet. 1.2 tera.
I agree. I think it's going to be about 1.5. Yeah.
This is with network slicing and catering to the different levels of people that want to do different things, right? I don't know. I'm going to go with 3 terabytes. If we're talking like a little over 6 years from now.
But we've never historically seen an increase like that, right? Year over year. In fact, there's been some years where data usage went down on average or stayed static. We just don't see that kind of level of uptick. There was an article that Sneed talked about earlier today, and I guess it's a great point to bring it up. Xfinity reported that their median was 760 gigs for wireline providers. Is that right? Sneed, it was 760, right?
For Comcast, yes.
For Comcast. And if we look back, the biggest spike, the biggest increase that impacted that was during the pandemic. And even then, that big increase from the pandemic wasn't even as much of an increase as people might think it was.
Do you want to know where our biggest spike was? When we started, just having smartphones everywhere. Don't you remember when like AT&T's network was like being brought down to its knees by the iPhone?
We're talking about home broadband usage, data consumed per month. We're not talking about mobile data.
I thought you just said data in general.
No. Or is that what Green was asking? Was data in general or data?
No. I think he was basically saying home. I think this is home broadband.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, when you measure stuff in terabytes, like he said, my family is using 1.6. So to me, I think he's talking about a shared wireline connection.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I was
or fixed wireless or whatever.
I thought it was cumulative. Okay, sorry. My bad.
1.2 is what I think 1.2 tera is what I think the median will be for Americans, and I will also.
And that basically doubles it, right, Dennis? It basically doubles it.
It'll double, but I want to highlight an important fact or an important point. The reason why I think it doubles, though, is not because the vast majority of Americans' usage habits necessarily change. It's only people are just gonna be doing the same things, but the wider speeds become available, and so they'll be able to consume more content, download more games, do more of the stuff. But then I think it stabilizes around there, right? Like my usage hasn't changed really that much within the last 10 years. Like I stayed around a terabyte to 1.2 for the longest time. And the only reason why I ended up hovering around 2 terabytes now was because my upload speeds got better, because that was my limiting factor, was upload speed. Once that happened, though, I've stayed pretty consistent at 2 tera per month. Like that, and that's just what
Dennis,
it is. Yeah.
Would you I don't know, would you argue that maybe a little bit more because of like this whole different paradigm shift to like I hate to use the word, but metaverse stuff is coming online with like the Vision Pro.
Well, that's what I was talking about with VR and augmentation. What the thing that would differentiate what I'm saying is dependent on that. But I don't see metaverse.
How fat does the pipeline need to be?
Taking over in the next 6 years or anything like that.
Yeah.
Mainly because while connectivity is improving for many Americans, it's still not to that point. In the same way things like Stadia failed, right? Because internet infrastructure wasn't where it needed to be at. I don't think things like metaverse or anything like that.
The question mark for me is not necessarily like the hardware per se, but how fat a pipeline it will need.
Not as much as you think.
See, that's how I don't know that. I don't even use one.
Yeah, there are new. There's a new AV1 codec that's coming online that cuts the bandwidth required for 4K content and half.
Oh yes, yep.
Yeah, I like the AV1.
Hold on.
Okay, we got an update
talking
actually.
About cellular.
Yeah. Okay, so Green, 1.6 terabyte for your family. How many people? That's a lot of freaking data, dog.
What are you doing on that internet?
Now, of course, there are some places where there are no viable landline,
but we know
options.
where Green is. He has good home internet where he's at.
Yeah, I understand. But what like he's coming soon is saying, they're like, this is an important statistic. I covered it in one of my videos today. 20% of the fixed wireless access subscribers that have been added to T-Mobile and Verizon, they weren't even existing wireline customers. They didn't have home internet. They're new to the industry. They weren't at cable. They weren't at DSL. They weren't at satellite. They literally joined Verizon or T-Mobile because they had Verizon and T-Mobile wireless.
Do you think they were hotspotters?
Their usage
is like 300 to 450.
Yeah, half.
But that's going to go up. Is my point? Is these people are new?
Only for now.
They have yet to really accepted this lifestyle of connectivity. So now they're going to start to the floodgates will open. They'll start streaming more of their TV, right? They'll start consuming more video content, and the usage will go up. Go ahead. He's coming soon. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, because I have a couple clients that have been basically suffering either on some first gen hotspot, and they just weren't able to get anything else, and then suddenly boom, there's 5G NA, and they're now on high speed. The antennas outside comes to a router broadcast through the entire house, and the floodgates have opened. They were maybe 100 gigs a month, and now they're up. We're in the terabyte because now they've got Netflix and Amazon, and all the other stuff. So yeah, it's what Sneed is saying is I think some of this that we're going to see is people with the new fixed wireless access as towers get upgraded. Then especially in places where your only option is satellite, and Starlink's notoriously slow to fulfill. Once you get the gear, it's great, but it can take a year and a half to get the gear. So if FWA comes in there, bang.
Yeah, but I don't think Green was asking about fixed wireless based off his new clarification. I think he's talking about mobile data.
Yeah, I think so.
Which 1.6 terabytes for a family is absolutely ridiculous, and I don't see anybody doing that for another 30 years.
Oh God! I thought it was mobile data. Okay.
But realistically,
he said 6 of us. I use 400 to 500 gigs alone.
Yeah,
what the hell are you doing on your phone, dude?
And you're abnormal, Green, and I'm surprised you noticed
He's
from your carrier.
Hold on. Come on, Dennis. That's not the term. We want to use power user.
Okay, power user.
Power user,
yeah. He ran a bunch of speed tests and downloaded a petabyte project from Pornhub. I don't know what he did to get that.
This is why I said what I said before.
More chicken.
Instead of well, yeah, that's true. More chicken, yes. I need to put that on. I need to put that on a shirt. I need to copyright that.
Sneed,
but this is why I said what I said before. I mean, instead of the FCC worrying about trying to regulate, perhaps they need to be trying to make sure that the telco industry has a sufficient amount of bandwidth to do their jobs.
But
the government is always so helpful.
Green's usage is not a normal use case. He's clearly a 1%.
He's the 1%er, right?
Yeah.
So guys, I don't disagree, but here's where I think the industry is going. I don't think the industry is going to too much care whether it's mobile or FWA. It's all going to be served by the same frequencies. So because of that, the FCC needs to make sure that they do their job and make sure that there's enough frequency available to be able to get to the carriers to serve the people. If you truly care about serving the people, net neutrality, in my opinion, based on what we know at scale, is not as big of an issue as the FCC allocating spectrum needed to serve the American people well in the next 5 to 7 years. Sneed is talking about this
every 3 years.
I mean, we need an auction. We need an auction as often as often as possible.
Yesterday.
I don't want to I don't want to say every 3 years, but there needs to be auctions available, and that allows for the telcos to keep up with the pace of traffic, because we know it's going to increase. Sneed has talked about it. He said it before. Instead of worrying about, in my opinion, instead of worrying about stupid stuff related to net neutrality and trying to create this continued wall of consumer versus business, which is unnecessary, perhaps you should do more of what you've been doing the last 3 years. Partner with the private industry via like what they did with the BEAD funding to help make things better, because it's working. He just I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but he just gave a testimonial of a customer who never had any connectivity at all. Now all of a sudden they have it, and they're using a terabyte or whatever he said. I mean,
don't you think we should enable fixed wireless providers with more opportunities and spectrum?
Absolutely. Why not? Why not? Why not?
They have become the last mile. They have become the beacon of hope from the sky, man.
But
it's cheaper. It's cheaper to deploy.
I think what B's saying though is we need to stop. Well, not necessarily us on the panel, but in general, we need to stop creating false dichotomies and realize that the spectrum is going to be hardware agnostic. It's just going to be spectrum that you can just tap into. And also, that we need we need more mid-band, don't we? Pretty much.
So
we need more mid-band. We need more high band. We need to make sure that we come up with a streamlined process for permitting
to embrace the grind. We need more fiber. We need more wireline. Right, we need all those things.
We need more backbone. Yeah, we need more fiber.
But it's the same thing. But it's the same thing with respect to regulation and permitting.
DOCSIS.
Like one of the things that I agree. Seriously, one of the things I agree with the Republican FCC under Trump. Congressman Pai, Chairman Pai, I agree with that particular FCC in regards to streamlining the permit process.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
too.
not
And
just
that was good.
telcos.
You saw the progress that happened from that.
Absolutely.
I mean, stuff was getting done.
That's one of the few good things.
And it turned into a war because Democrats decided to fight on that. And I'm saying to myself, do you want internet connectivity for the masses? Yes or no? The answer is obviously yes, because as soon as Biden was placed in power, now all of a sudden the pandemic comes. Now you're rolling out BEAD funding. Now you want to get all this. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because they're shooting themselves in the foot because one of the platform planks I stand on is internet as a utility, right?
But Blind G, the problem is that they fought to have the thing that they wanted, right? The thing was networking. The thing was reliable and available data.
Internet
and that was the thing that they were fighting.
Yeah, they wanted internet as a utility. A commodity.
If you truly believe that internet connectivity is a right, which I personally disagree with. I think we throw that word around way too much. I'm sorry. I don't
it's
agree.
More important than water.
I feel you. But I don't agree. I don't agree that it's a right. However, I do agree that it is a necessity. So if you truly believe that, why would you obstruct the streamlining of the process to get it out to the masses? Because again, you got 50 different states and 3,000 counties. And then outside of that, you got some people who don't want this dug or don't want this, or this looks ugly, or I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of red tape that you have to go through to get a lot of these projects done. We all know it.
It's crazy. Just imagine all the stuff that T-Mobile. Just think about all the stuff that T-Mobile had to go through in order to be the GOAT in 5G. They got through all that.
Oh my God!
They still became
all that N71 in the rural areas. Yep.
Yeah, man.
You know what, Sneed? You off the Christmas list, man. I'm putting a lump of coal.
Bro, listen,
you're stocking.
Listen. T-Mobile just opened up network slicing nationwide, dog. When I tell you they're the GOAT in 5G, I mean you don't even have a leg to stand on right now. All right, they got this. They got the last story we talked about. Verizon they can't touch them.
They got SASE.
Unlimited hacking, unlimited security breaches.
Hey, listen.
I was about to say,
they hacked. They hacked themselves this time. All right, it wasn't.
That's the thing in the past. After that press release, that's
even worse.
It's over.
I just want to quickly say, to wrap up Green though, cellular data usage 6 years from now, 50 gigs. That's my prediction.
Yeah,
right, so we're at what, like 15, 20 gigs
right
now, right?
People in C-band markets are using 50 gigs now. I think it's going to be way more than that 6 years from now. I really do.
More than 50?
People are using more than 50 now.
Six
if you're in a C-band market.
C-band does not cover the majority of the country.
Well, not yet. It covers the majority of the pop.
By 2030, it's going to be over 300 million pops.
It will. By
the average
it's at 230. It's at 230 right now with Verizon. I think it's at 270 or 280 somewhere around there with T-Mobile.
No,
I mean,
but hold on. We're talking about averages.
It takes 10 years. It takes 10 years to cover the entire U.S. As a network technology.
It took 10 years. It won't take 10 years for all the carriers.
Hold on, we're talking about averages. The average right now, 2023, it's like 20 gigs. That's the average.
Right.
So 6
years.
But I
said in C-band markets.
Yeah, I know. It's still 20 gigs. Like that's the
average. For the entire average.
Yeah.
All right, Dennis, but when was it 10?
I'm saying the new average 6 years from now will probably be about 50. It'll a little over double. Because people aren't running speed tests, man. Like phone use cases haven't really changed that much.
I hope to God in 6 years we're like, oh, let me see your speed test. Oh God, let me see your speed test. Are you freaking kidding me right now? I hope I never see another speed test in 6 years from now.
We're gonna have augmented reality speed tests. What are you talking about?
And I just want to say, going back to the use that Green had for mobile. I just want to say, going back to the use that Green had for mobile, even when I was in Amsterdam and the cellular was my only form of connectivity, I only used 100 gigs over those 14 days. So
that's a lot, man. Wow.
But it was my only form of connectivity for work, everything. I still at work a little bit.
What are you doing over
Can I
there? Oh my God.
can I just say
when I was
like
in the
this?
hotel.
Can I just say this has been like a really, really outstanding podcast. This has been great tonight. I don't know if you guys are having fun, but I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball with y'all tonight, man. So hats off to everybody, even the guys in the chat, like Tech Guy 32 and all these other guys. Even though he be throwing shots at me sometimes, I understand.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
throw
it's been
jabs.
great, man. This has been fun. He
We're
throws
just
jabs at
trying.
me sometimes, I understand. But yeah, man,
We're
this has
just
been
trying
fun.
to.
This has been fun.
We're just trying to keep your blood pressure down tonight, but
So Green, you're saying that Green, what you're telling me here is that in order to get the use that you're getting on your devices, you're basically never connecting to Wi-Fi, which is fine, but that's how you're getting there. You're never connected.
That's the only way you're going to get there.
Yeah, and you're probably not. I'm also going to just throw in another curveball here. You're probably not just using your phone as a phone. I'm going to assume you're probably using it for other stuff, like
hotspot, most likely.
Yeah.
Where do you think fiber will be in 6 years?
Fiber, like home.
Yeah, because we're already at like 10 gig in some places.
No, you guys, no. You guys are all wrong. You guys are all wrong. We're gonna be wearing it. We're gonna be wearing our.
You're gonna be wearing fiber.
You're gonna be shitting it.
Transhumanism. I want to have I'll connect to your fibers. You connect to my phone.
You use Cheerios, bro, for that one.
When my home site gives me over 700 megabits down and 100 up, I'm gonna use it. We're paying top dollar for AT&T Premium. My family is enjoying the top speeds, fast speeds.
It's gonna be like Avatar, except with fiber.
What do you guys think for Halloween? I just wrap a fiber strand around me, and they ask me what I am. I'm a home internet.
Exactly.
No, I think you should wear
put like a gateway on my head. Put on a sombrero.
Yes.
Put a modem on my head.
Yeah.
No, you need some Cox cable, right?
Oh,
coax
That'll scare all the kids.
Sure.
Scare all the kids.
What are you, man?
Hey kids, do you like coax?
So bad. Oh,
want some candy?
But what was the fiber question that someone asked? Like, were you asking like what the top speeds?
What do you think the speeds will be by 2030, bro? They're like crazy right now.
Peak available or like?
Yeah, peak available.
Probably 25 gig. I don't see it being higher than that. I don't see that changing. And I don't. Well, for consumers, I'm talking about available to consumers.
I'm not limited to consumers. I'm talking like.
I was gonna say 500 gig.
Oh, you're talking about like everything? Oh, fucking terabit.
Yeah, I was gonna say 500 gig to a terabyte at least. Yeah. Yep.
All right. What is the average of C-band in the 100 big markets?
Like the answer is not enough.
It's like 350.
Not enough.
350 meg.
I'm seeing around 500 where I see it.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about 2030 still.
Well, AT&T's been good at it.
Yeah.
I got a question on this number.
By the way, Max Tech Studios in the house. Salute to Max.
Yeah, they never paid.
Yeah.
Has anybody?
We're in Florida right now.
Last time I talked to you, you sound like a little kid.
You're in Florida?
Yeah, I'm in Florida.
Tell me about Florida.
Right, so I brought AT&T, T-Mobile, and my beloved Dish, all three of them.
Nice.
So they've been really good at times. They've been really bad at times. It's just
Hold on, Max. I gotta boost your audio because you always be doing like I don't know what it is, bro, but it sounds like you're trying to like.
I don't even.
It's so low the volume. It's almost like you're trying to tell like a fairy tale to kids, like a nighttime story.
Max,
so I'm gonna boost.
He got the Luther Vandross.
Yeah, bro. He's trying to be all smooth and buttery, bro. Go ahead,
Max. I got a question for you, bro. I got a question for you, real quick though. When did your voice change? Last time I talked, you sound like a young kid.
What you mean?
Yeah, he got some bass in there now, dog.
Yeah. Voice codec, awesome. Right? Voice codec on 5G, right?
Yep, that's that 5G, bro. Go ahead.
That's that bonar. But jokes aside, I want to hear Max's story.
That's going from DSL to fiber.
I want to hear Max's story though. Tell me about who's performing best in Florida. It's got to be AT&T.
Well, so I brought AT&T Unlimited Premium. I got T-Mobile Go 5G Plus, and of course my beloved Dish on Boost Mobile, $50 unlimited. They've all been good, really good in some areas, but really bad in some other areas, and it's just been all three have been inconsistent.
No Verizon.
So Verizon? I touched down in Punta Gorda. It was not good when I was in the airport, and then I got out, and it was kind of pretty good, all three of them. And then we took a huge drive all across the state to West Palm Beach area where I'm at now. And like in the hotel, it's like not great in the Hilton Hotel. And then I'm kind of walking around the city streets and it's pretty
Do you
good.
want to? Do you want to
And
know
I'm
why?
driving around other spots. It's pretty good, but then I'm getting to other spots and it's just not.
Do you want to know why it sucks inside the hotel and the airport?
What's
Because
that?
they build them like bunkers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of people.
Max, you
I
didn't
know.
try Verizon out there? Anybody got a Verizon line?
I didn't have Verizon on me. I have
Ross
a
is good down there. Bro,
You
I
got
got
eSIM? You got eSIM, bro? We'll get you a Verizon line. You got eSIM?
Bro, Max, I had C-band in the Everglades. There's
Oh,
nothing
damn.
but gators and swamp out there.
And
Oh,
an
I think
ultra
he
wide.
died. He
An
died.
ultra wideband, apparently.
Mm.
Damn, he
Gator
got too
shoes,
excited.
bro. Gator shoes. That's where the Hans band came through.
That explains it.
I'm gonna have to grab me a T-Mobile SIM and try it out here where I'm at over here in this valley by the Potomac
You know, you
River.
can just
Well,
get Mint.
he's
You
coming
can get Mint
soon. I
Mobile.
can give you a T-Mobile SIM. I just need to know your social security number, date of birth.
Oh, come on,
So
Dennis.
bad.
Bro,
Come
you
on,
need Mint
dude.
Mobile.
Come
Mint
on,
Mobile.
Yeah, use the partner link. Try out Mint Mobile, dog.
All right,
I
we
was
got
gonna
it.
have to try
I was
that.
trying to make a joke, Sneed, but I guess it's too soon.
No. We got you, bro. But
I caught the joke. That's why I didn't say anything.
Here's what we
Now
have to
listen.
do. So
The name of
listen,
your
if
firstborn child.
he's gonna
please.
collect data, but he's not gonna let it get hacked. Dennis does have better security than T-Mobile. That's for sure.
Cap.
No, come on, bro. Dennis has
that
better
last
security.
like member only stream, I was talking like Trex because he's in Florida. He's not around where I'm at right now, but
He's like
he
Tampa,
told
isn't
me
he?
that, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
He told me like Verizon's got some really good millimeter wave in some parts of this, but the only Verizon I had on me back at home was a $5 base visible line. Like I can't do shit with that.
Yeah, do you have
I can't get
eSIM?
millimeter wave on that.
Do you have
Right.
eSIM?
It was a eSIM.
No, I'm
It was
saying,
an
do you have a
eSIM.
phone with eSIM on you right now?
Yes.
Okay, I can get you a Verizon line.
You know who was my...
damn.
Right now? What plan?
Like not on the stream. Like just give me a phone number to text, and I will reach out to you.
He will do
Wow.
it. He
Dennis
will.
hooking me up.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
Dennis
pretty
about
cool.
to pull a power move. He's about to do it, man.
Yeah.
Dennis
why
out
don't
here
you put it on
doing the
S23
Lord's
Ultra?
work. Oh, Dennis.
Yes,
Don't
that's
make him-
right.
He's
Dennis,
flexing
what
his
plan?
pinky,
Spreading the gospel. I'm talking about Dennis.
See what happened, Max? You came in with the butters and you started sweet serenading Dennis, bro. Look at what happened.
Well, no,
Oh,
Max.
man.
Hold on.
He's speaking his love language, bro.
Hold on.
Got that buttery smooth voice.
Max is an OG supporter of the Best Phone Plans podcast.
He is.
I gotta
That's
look
right.
out. I gotta look
Yeah,
out
that's
for
right.
Max Tech Studios.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. What we need from you is another food video. It's been a while since the Del Taco.
Oh, damn.
The Patreon
Oh,
exclusive
oh,
Del Taco
God.
video. Don't.
No. That's,
Bro, what is wrong with you people? Del Taco, are you serious?
I never had it. I tried it while I was in Colorado with Stetson. It was really gross. It was really
Taco
gross.
Bueno.
No. We need a scallop video. That's what we need.
Bro, do you
Del
know what
Taco.
they should change that restaurant's name to? Instead of
Iconic.
Del Taco, they should name it Death Waiting to Happen. That's what it should be.
That's waiting to happen.
Listen,
Oh,
Taco Bell is better than Del Taco. Fight me.
How?
They
That's
have more
like saying
choices.
that's
Del
They have more
Taco's what they
choices.
feed. Dude, Del Taco's what they feed people right before they get a colonoscopy. Come on.
The best the best I ever had though, and they don't exist anymore, was Taco Bueno.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I
can I
remember those
just
from
say
Texas.
something real
Those were good.
fast? I just want to say something real fast. Us Americans, we get really bad fast food chains compared to the European versions.
That's
McDonald's is like fine dining in Amsterdam versus here.
Dennis, you were eating Trick Ronald's in Amsterdam?
Yes, and it was delicious. And I was pissed off because there was a paprika French fry that was sold out both times I went, and I didn't get to try.
Paprika French fry?
Yes, and I didn't get to
Paprika.
try. And I didn't get to try the Big Tasty. The Big Tasty was also sold out. I was mad.
Well, you want to know something?
That's
know
because the
something?
Europeans
A lot
are
of
much more
the-
strict with their food than we are.
Quality
Yeah,
you're
that's what I was
talking
about to
about,
say.
right?
They
Like
don't
a
let
lot
a
of
lot
the
of
nasty
they ban a lot
Quality
of
nutrition,
chemicals.
yeah.
are like banned in Europe. Like high fructose
Yeah.
corn syrup's banned in Europe. Like red 40's banned in Europe.
Oh yeah,
Formaldehyde.
Coca-Cola, by the way, tastes better in Europe.
Well, yeah, because
Coca-Cola.
they have to use
cane
cane
sugar,
sugar,
bro.
not high fructose corn syrup.
Cane sugar.
Well, Europeans Europeans are okay with paying for stuff. Americans are cheap, so we just
You know
don't
what,
really
More
pay
Steve?
for
chicken.
stuff.
What world?
Steve,
What world?
this
He
is
ain't
that
wrong.
bullshit. No, hold on a second. B, I'm not letting that slide.
Don't do it. Don't do it, Steve. Don't do it, Steve. Okay, I'm sorry. I
I'm not letting
apologize.
it
I'm
slide.
sorry.
Okay.
My bad, man.
No,
My bad.
I'm not gonna let you do this. Come on, bro. I just talked to you about this, dog.
Bro, he's
Sneed,
gonna
come
mute you
on,
for
man.
5 minutes.
Okay, so wait, in my defense, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Dennis. I don't know very many places in Europe that's got like dollar menus and all that other kind of stuff.
They
Americans,
do.
that's what. Oh, okay. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that?
Bro,
Yeah,
they
There is
got
a
a they got
segment of there is a segment of customers in the United States that will literally take the cheapest thing possible. Yes.
And that's the
Yeah.
And
same
there's a
thing.
that's
And
a
that's the
big
same
that's a
thing in
very
Europe.
big segment though.
And
That's
it's the same
universal.
thing in Europe.
Quantify very big segment then.
Half,
Big enough
if
for
not more.
everybody to have a
Half.
dollar menu at one point in time.
Damn, half,
I
bro.
mean, I
That's
think we could all agree food
Yeah, but
prices are up
have you
now.
looked at a dollar menu in
Even-
America? Wait, hold up. Have you actually looked at a dollar menu in America? Because nothing on that menu is a dollar anymore.
Look,
there's
I need you
yeah,
guys
I mean,
to
not
do me a
anymore.
favor.
I mean,
I'm saying,
it's more
I'm
than a
saying,
dollar.
and again. So Dennis just came from Europe, so he can speak to it. If I'm wrong, Dennis, you let me know. But it doesn't seem to me that there are huge amounts of people in Europe that are asking for the dollar menu and menunaire type of treatment
Yes,
from
and I'm
their
saying,
Look,
food supply.
look,
saying you're wrong.
guys, listen, do me a favor. Don't buy anything from McDonald's. Support the SMT, buy us a coffee. The link is in the description. Thank you.
Yeah, that works.
Swoonie, do you think you could kick one of them?
Shout out to Green with another super chat. He basically financed the live stream. Thanks, Green. He said, wait, hold on a second. He said watching 4K 60 frames consumes 15 gigs per hour. I didn't know it was
True.
that much, but that sounds about right, actually, now
What
that I
is
think
he
about it.
doing on there? Jesus.
Bro,
Prepaid.
McDonald's and KFC in Europe is like an Olive Garden here. Bro, Olive Garden ain't that great though.
No, but it's
it's true.
but
It's
sit
true.
down-
Right, but it's
a
it's
sit-down
not.
restaurant.
No.
Right.
I was
Better
in
than
Paris,
it's better than Burger King, McDonald's.
bro. I went to
Yeah, I was about to say
McDonald's
Olive Garden's
in
kind of
Paris.
delicious. Man.
It was freaking gourmet.
Olive Garden's kind of delicious.
Bro, it's
I would
really
love some
not.
Olive
It's just
Garden right
better
now.
than McDonald's.
Right.
No,
I
it
mean, I
wasn't
like Olive
McDonald's.
Garden.
What
But,
is
I like Olive
why?
Garden.
But it's because it's not horrible fast food.
Olive Garden slander has got to stop.
It's decent. It's
decent.
edible. It's not going to get you sick.
Oh, you talking about Olive Garden?
Sneed, when have you ever gotten sick from eating McDonald's? Because I haven't had that happen in my life.
You've never gotten sick from McDonald's.
No.
You're lying.
I swear, I swear on my grandparents.
Hell
grave.
no. Every
You're
time I eat McDonald's, I get sick.
Yeah, me
Bro,
too.
you're talking about a guy who ate like what is it, a heart attack burger?
The quadruple bypass burger at Heart Attack Grill.
What?
Quadruple bypass burger.
What is that? That tells you shouldn't be eating it. Look at the name.
It's a I believe 15,000 calorie burger.
What?
It's just called the Kill Me
So,
Now burger.
so for
with
him,
fast line of fries and a buttermilk milkshake with half a stick of butter in it.
Ooh, that does sound good.
so
Wow.
Sneed, for him eating
Holy
McDonald's like eating a
crap.
freaking Snickers bar.
That's wild.
I need to go
You
there,
act
Dennis.
like I eat Heart Attack Grill every day. I've eaten it twice in my life. Come on,
Bro, that's a lot.
Where's the Heart
Twice.
Attack Grill at? I need to look that up.
There's one in Las Vegas, and if you, by the way, if you weigh over 350 pounds, you get to eat for free. And if you don't finish your food, you get spanked by your waitress. And if you do finish your food, you get wheeled out in a wheelchair.
So
I
what
think
you're
I'm
trying
going
to
to do all three.
say?
It's okay.
So what you're trying to say is you didn't finish your food on purpose?
No. I finished my food. In fact,
I'm going to finish it and get
you can ask Carlos. You can ask Carlos. I finished my food, and then we immediately afterwards had a 3-course meal at Hell's Kitchen.
What?
Oh yeah, I remember that. God, that's disgusting.
Hey, shout out to David. He's talking about Applebee's, bro. Applebee's is trash.
Applebee's.
Listen. In an alternate reality, I could see myself being an extreme competitive eater because I can fork down some food in this belly.
Are you talking like the glutton bowl kind of stuff?
I'm saying if you took me to a okay, let me put it to you this way, man. When I was
Let
younger,
me find out Dennis buys like 15 dozens of cannolis a week, bro. Let me find out.
let me cook for a second. Let me cook for a second.
Right,
when I was younger, my family, we're pretty frugal. So one of the things that my aunt would do was we'd go out to Fire Mountain. It was a buffet when it came out. I think it was like, I don't know, $8 for a seat. TLDR, I'm like a 12-year-old. and I would clean house. I'd eat 12 very full, very hearty plates of food stacked up on that table. I have legitimately been kicked out of a buffet before for eating too much food.
I would love to see
Wow.
I would love to see your LDLs on your cholesterol.
Oh, my
Yeah.
cholesterol is terrible. My LDLs are bad, and my LDLs are high. My HDLs are low. However, I've been eating clean and healthy, and that's been getting better with time.
Come to the UP, Dennis. We'll throw down, man.
No,
Some good
I
spots.
don't eat like that. Sneed will tell you he's seen my fridge when I've been doing my grocery shopping. I eat reasonable foods. I eat like those.
Yeah, but you're in Dennis. You're in recovery though. Like you, it was many years of bad choices, right?
Not many years of bad choices. Even back in in high school, I was the fittest, very good athlete.
Dennis, how old are you?
The bad years of choices happened when I hit college. Maybe
Dennis, how old are you?
How old are you?
27.
Okay, how many pounds have you put on since 18?
Well, at my height, so graduating high school, I was 170. Hold on.
Okay.
Graduating high school, I was 170. The fattest I got was 250. So that would be 80 pounds.
That's a lot.
But I'm down to 225. I'm down to 225.
And that's good, but you get my point is that you added a lot of weight really fast. Right? You were talking about basically adding 15 to 20 pounds annually.
Fair.
So that's a very fast way to add weight at a young age. So if you were 40 and you were adding weight like that, like there would be urgency for your weight loss. The fact that you're young kind of gives you a little bit of an edge, but at an advanced age, like that's trouble. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fair. What are you saying? Change your habits now. You won't have to worry about it.
Well, again, it wasn't an everyday incursion. In fact, most of my weight gain, aside from the eating bad in college because, fast food all the time and whatnot and being cheap and broke, was that I was more sedentary, right?
Dennis, when you were 250, were you lifting weights?
No, I haven't. Listen, when I was okay, let me give you perspective. In high school, when I was 170, I was doing baseball and track. I used to be able to run 3.5 miles and not even be heavy breathing. That's how like fit I was from like a stamina standpoint. Then I went to my satellite campus for high school. My life changed. I started driving freaking 40-minute commutes to go to school. I did not have to spend the whole day at said school because that's what my dad forced me to do. And because I was a cheap person, I would go to Burger King because they had the discount for Penn State students at that local Burger King, and I would eat adult two for $5 on the quarter pounders every time. That was my meal. That's when I gained like a lot of weight, was from the Burger King. And then when I got up to main campus, when we had access to like the buffets at the food thing, my old habit of being frugal with the buffets also didn't die. So I'd go to the buffet, I'd eat one massive gorge feast and only one because I was trying to save my meal points. And I was being cheap. And then when I got off campus, I actually didn't eat a lot. I just ate a lot of, the foods I was eating was whatever was free because I had a $50 a month food budget, right? I'd be going to like clubs and stuff, eating the free pizza because it was free. When I got a real job, I started to eat properly a little bit better, but the weight was already put on by that point. And then I finally just started going back to my old ways, and I'm losing the weight like I did when I was in high school, eating clean, normal food.
Yeah. Zero cool. What's the going rate for a good plate of scallops?
Well, $40 to $50.
See, that's what you need to eat, scallops.
I'm saying,
If this wasn't on YouTube, I'd be making inappropriate jokes right now about what you should be eating, Mr. Cool.
Oh, I'm sure you would.
I'll give you a hint. It's a bag of and a word that starts with a D.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Ew.
Eat all of them.
Ew.
And if you're not in the mood for the letter D, may I recommend the letter P?
Oh, come on.
I just gotta say,
you.
Hey, emergence.
Okay. We're into that.
Yeah.
Make you wear
you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're into that.
Some hair on your face.
Yeah.
That's how you grow a beard.
That's why Dennis got the flavor saver,
That's what it is.
Yeah, bro. We're at the 3-hour mark. I mean, why not, bro? To hell with it.
Can I ask a totally non-wireless question here?
Yeah.
So how do I get my avatar on this platform here?
When
All right, so what
you're
you gotta
before you
do is-
join the chat, you have an option to add a profile pic. You click that, and then you upload a picture from your PC. And yeah,
Cool.
Just make sure it's not a bag of D like Dennis wants.
Nope,
Yeah,
it's
you
totally
want to get
family
certain parts of the
appropriate.
panel.
David, for the love of Christ, stay away. Stay far away from Dish. They're bad. They are a nightmare.
Well, how you gonna tell the guy to stay away from Dish? Let him try it.
All right, fine. Project Genesis, and then be prepared to cancel your credit card if you ever need to cancel with them.
Yeah, that might be true.
Privacy.
Yeah, he might be right about that.
Use a prepaid credit card or pre-credit card.
Well, be careful
Privacy.com.
Well, be careful now because if Dish can't charge your card and then they deactivate your service immediately, they can't reactivate it either. So be careful now. Yeah.
They can reactivate. You just gotta
not
call
on Project Genesis. Not on Project Genesis.
Oh, Project Genesis. Yeah, you're right.
Yep, they're gonna put shackles on the. They're gonna put shackles on the phone, man.
And all those bill credits for doing those tests, man. Be prepared to call them all the time and get to speak to clueless reps that have no clue what's going on anymore. Dude, Dish is a shit show, man. I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. Sorry, you got
not even on your worst enemy, huh?
Yeah, no.
Bro, they've had some serious issues over the last year or two. It's been rough, man.
I legitimately would trust Freedom Pop with my phone number more than
come on, Dennis.
Seriously?
Oh my God.
Dennis, who's worse, Verizon's customer care or Dish's customer care?
Dish. Not even close. And I hate Verizon's customer care.
Verizon's customer care is trash, bro.
Dude, no. Verizon's customer care compared to Dish is like the fucking 5-star Hilton hotel compared to fucking hell. No, I'm not joking, Sneed. I'm not joking, Sneed. Bro, I had to do my first chargeback with a cellular company when Dish double charged me on that phone, on a phone. I had to get Amex involved. No, fuck Dish. No.
Dude just got me demonetized. He's like, I gotta get my point across.
You just got me pissed.
You need one of those little soundboards that goes beep beep when he says.
I know.
We really do. We need soundboards. Sneed, take some of that coffee money that I've never seen and buy me a soundboard. It'll improve the show and keep you monetized.
All right, we'll get you a freaking soundboard, dude. Fine.
Sarcasm or serious? Because I'll take you up on that.
I think we should just do it. I mean, I don't mind as long as we're investing in the quality of the channel. I don't care.
Okay. Heck yeah. Belated birthday presents. Stetson got me the mic. You're getting me a soundboard. Let's go.
Let's do it.
So, see, there was a while back on another podcast. I wasn't on the panel here, which I'm kind of grateful to be on, where I had said that business class customer service was really good. Well, that has since changed. I don't talk to Americans anymore. It's always overseas.
Are they good though?
Depends. If it's highly technical, no, I have to tell them what to do.
Yeah, I'm learning there's different levels of overseas. There's ones that almost have the British sound to them. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh no, I've been hearing hello, my name is George. The Indians and all them, and a lot of them.
Know your auto warranty, sir.
Well, the only thing I care about is whether it's overseas or here. Do they fix the problem quickly?
So there's a trick to it, right? So the trick is you call the overseas late at night to get good credits on your bill because they're more likely to honor it versus the American customer service agents.
That's true.
Yeah, and if that's an interesting hack. And if it's Comcast and those international reps do issue a credit incorrectly, they'll just come back later to communicate with you about how they're removed.
But I heard most of the companies are not really issuing credits anymore. Or very limited.
You're right, actually. In fact, if you go on the T-Mobile subreddit, T-Mobile's actually been cracking down on a bunch of people that had a bunch of credits. They were negative thousands from these.
I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but T-Mobile has been trying to generate free cash flow. They have dividends now. They're doing a share buyback program. They can't just give everybody credits every time something crawls up their ass and takes a dump.
And they got that new security. And
hey, you want to know? You want to know who has good customer support? Your MVNOs,
yeah, they
private companies.
Yeah.
So your Mobilexes, your Mint Mobiles,
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
That's if you actually care about customer service, that's where you go.
If their app doesn't crash on the iPhone.
Who?
Mobilex.
Did you download their latest version?
Yeah, they got a new version of the app. That's true.
Yeah, it came out on the day of the
really?
Walmart launch.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter.
Oh,
Yeah, 1.3.
okay.
It's a lot better than what it was in the beta, man. I used
Need
it.
the reliability, man. That's the most important thing.
Well, my issue is accessibility. Like my screen reader wouldn't work on it at all.
Well, I can't
use
speak
it.
for that.
I know, but I mean, Visible works, US Mobile works, everywhere works. Mobilex does not work. It
Well,
pissed me off.
well, you know.
Can't have everything, right?
Well,
that's right. There's Mint Mobile.
Yeah, we got a partner link.
Well, let's give Mobilex another year for them to bake in that accessibility. I'm sure with all the Walmart fun bucks they'll start getting, they can maybe they can work on getting a UI designer for accessibility.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Hey
man, new companies, baby steps. You know, it's tough to build from scratch, dude.
It really is.
Oh yeah. I know.
I mean, they've come a long way from the beta. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember the actual OG beta, the one that was like invite only.
Yeah.
Sneed, you were part of that one, I think.
It was tough, man.
They've come a long way from that. So,
like I'm ready to try it again. You know, like in the onset, the network was even a bit of a problem, like provisioning. You know, like there were things that they had to work through, and you know that. I'm happy to see that they've got some traction, and I think the most important thing, getting that retail presence, is going to just give their brand some recognition.
Well, a big thing for them too is if you remember during the beta, APN was a big issue.
That was a problem, yeah.
And on the Android side, at least specifically, not all of them, but some Android phones will auto download the APN now when you put the Mobilex SIM in.
Oh, that's the way it should be, right? That makes life easy.
Yeah. Now
iPhone,
iPhone, you still have to install it, but the process got better, and that's because they obviously don't have a carrier bundle with Apple. But for Android, it's gotten a little bit better, and at least the instructions are more clear. The methods for contacting support have gotten expanded. If you remember back in the day, you had to do the support ticket through the app. Now, that's still an option, but now you can also do a live chat on their website and actually get a different way. So
do they favor certain phones? Like are they more of a?
They're
iPhone?
They're definitely more of an iPhone carrier for sure. Yeah. But that's just because Android gets fucky wucky with all the different models and firmware versions, because that APN is still a killer point.
What about like a Samsung or Pixel or a Moto or any of those?
I know all the Pixels work. I know that like unlocked, like factory unlocked, like Galaxy like S20s and later work pretty well. Not the FE though. The FE does not work well. That does not play nice. But the S20, like S21, like the regular, like the actual S lineup, those work fine. Motorola's, that's a Verizon problem. A lot of Motorola's just straight up come up not certified, depending on where you get them. Like, I'll give you an example. If you were to do the IMEI check on my Moto that I got from Project Genesis on Verizon's like checker, it'll come up not certified.
What if I got my Moto Edge Plus from Best Buy unlocked? No problem.
That's the thing. That's a Verizon thing. Like, I know it'll work. In fact, Mobilex support has worked around before to get it to work, but you'll run into some problems. So generally speaking, Pixels and iPhones tend to play the nicest with Mobilex.
I gotcha.
And Samsungs, as long as it's a more recent one.
Okay.
All right, guys, we got my friend Darian. He is at the Giants game in the Bay Area. And here's an image of the game. He's got a pretty nice seat. Looks like he's down the line. And here is AT&T speeds at the stadium. 1.4 gigs down, 33 up on a 20 ping. Looking good, AT&T at that game. I'm assuming they got some millimeter wave there, or some kind of millimeter wave on DAS. I don't know. Looks really good, man. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's tremendous.
Yeah, it's okay.
That rocks.
I I'd love to see Verizon.
Are we seriously going meh to over a gig on a phone? Really?
You can't do meh to millimeter wave. All right,
Yeah.
that is like blasphemy.
I
Wait, I
know,
thought-
and the reason why I say that's because you should be at least 4 gigabytes down. It's not approaching the.
That's the
Excuse me,
Verizon.
it is
That's the
not
Verizon
approaching
standard.
the
You're
millimeter
moving
wave
the
network
AT&T
threshold. Okay.
Moving the
Wait, I thought-
goalpost. Moving the
No,
goalpost.
it's called common sense and good RF engineering.
I thought T-Mobile was a goat in stadium.
Listen, no one will ever say their internet's not fast enough if they're getting literally a freaking gigabit per second. My God, like,
What about
Listen,
that
man,
green
when you
phone?
got 70,000 people at a stadium, 1 gig is not enough.
Exactly.
We're talking about the circuit or the download speed.
And you're going to need several circuits at a stadium.
That's
You're
what
not
I'm
running
saying.
that stadium on a circuit.
Well, some
It's
people
usually going to
actually-
start at 100 gigs and go up from there on the
Oh,
on
yeah.
the
I know.
handoff circuit.
Sure, right.
Oh, I know.
But you're going to need like multiple DAS systems from the carriers, right? Each one gets like Verizon has theirs, AT&T has theirs. You got a Wi-Fi system. You know, now what we're starting to see is that whole neutral host concept, right? Where carriers can get their frequencies and radios onto to a neutral host. I think that stuff has some promise too.
Isn't that where the stadium's paying for it though?
Most of it, yeah.
Okay.
The stadium
they don't want
normally, the stadium usually what happens is they'll bring a 100 gig circuit in as part of their ground lease, and then they shave off parts to the carriers, and then if they need more, so they're not eating the cost of the 100 gig circuit. They're reselling it to the carriers.
Oh yeah. There's always a way of passing the buck.
I'm just glad that somebody other than Verizon is putting millimeter wave in these places. Because like if you ever go to a game and you don't have Verizon, it's like chances are you're not going to really have a usable connection until you leave.
Roberta's pointing out a point that I want to highlight really fast. That 1.4 gig is probably under heavy load, so it's pretty tremendous.
Still crap.
I don't think
macro
so. No, because I've been in places with similar densities to that, and I've been in places where there's nobody on it. It's about 1.4 or 1.5 gigs. It really depends on
AT&T throttles their AT&T throttles their connection to a single device on millimeter wave. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Verizon doesn't do it. You get 4 gigs.
I haven't seen on now. I don't know what device you'd have to get 4 gigs on millimeter wave, but I haven't seen it on my Pixel 6 or my S23.
I used to get it on my Pixel 6.
I've gotten 4 gig as far back on my iPhone 12.
I wouldn't do it on a Pixel 6. It might blow up. I do it.
Listen, I've gotten 4 gig as far back as my iPhone 12.
Yeah. The iPhones. Yeah.
Or
the Samsung Galaxies are doing like 4.3 gigs.
I think Pixel 8s are coming out next week.
Is that with the single carrier or CA?
That's 8 carrier aggregation on N260.
There you go. Okay, that's an 8 carrier. So
yeah, you're doing 8 by 100.
Per carrier is about right then. 1.5 per carrier is about right.
But even then, you know what I'm saying? You're not getting the true potential throughput. There's a restriction. Like there's the phone restriction limitation, and there's also the RAN side too. I guess the nodes have limitations as well. We haven't even seen the evolution of millimeter wave MIMO. You know, the way that midband is getting this great MIMO improvement. You know, with we haven't even seen that at millimeter. We've been at 4 gigs for 3 years.
Yeah, Sneed, the fastest I've seen, I've actually seen above 4. The fastest I've seen is like 4.9.
On which phone?
iPhone 14 Pro Max, Verizon.
4.9 gigs per second?
Yeah.
Really?
Eventually we'll be at give it 1 or 2 years, we'll be at 10 gig.
10 gig.
How's your battery health?
Yeah.
My battery health? My iPhone 14 is actually doing okay. It's at 97%.
You guys want to see what else is on my X account? Let's see here.
Nah, X is a terrible platform.
Need you gonna be the first one to pre-order that Pixel 8?
I'm hearing that the cellular modem is the same as last year's.
I heard it's the same number, but it's a different variant.
It's a
I don't know,
different
bro.
variant.
If it's the same performance, I'm not buying another one.
Sneed, are you getting an iPhone 15?
Hold on.
Yeah, I'll probably end up with a 15 Pro
Yeah,
Max.
it's a different variant. The performance level is not that much changed in it. You're better off waiting for the Pixel 9.
Instead of the Pro Max, try the Plus.
Hey, real quick question though. Sincere question. I feel like we touched on this lightly, but I need a refresher. Does the iPhone 15 do anything at all? I know it's going to help out Dish from a connectivity standpoint, but does it do anything at all for AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile? Is there anything in that modem that the iPhone 14 Pro Max is missing from a connectivity piece?
It's the same one that's in the S23 Ultra.
No.
You're probably getting upgraded antennas, less about the modem itself.
Right.
What I'm getting at is if I want to rock my 14 for another year because I don't like the overheating issues that the 15 is having, apparently.
You should be
Yeah,
fine.
you might want to sit it out. Yeah.
Bro, I still got my 13 Pro Max.
I'm not changing iPhones until I
It's
get 12
working fine.
gigahertz in it.
I think this will be the first year in a while where I'm sitting on an iPhone upgrade cycle.
So I had somebody ask me why I wasn't standing in line waiting for an iPhone on launch day. And I was very clear about why I was unwilling to do that. I'm not going to stand in line to spend $1,000. That doesn't make any sense to me. I can't compute. I'm going to stand in line to give someone $1,000? Hell to the no.
Wait, but I'm more shook about this part. People still actually go to a physical store, like location, and wait in line to get an iPhone.
Yes, bro. People are sharing pictures of them standing in line in the Apple store.
Why would you not just? Don't you have to pre-order it anyway online anyway to be able to pick it up in store? Why don't you just have it shipped?
Dennis, people are literally still standing. And look, it's not. I'm not trying to put anybody down. I'm saying I'd rather be doing something else than that. Anything else.
I wish I had 8 hours just to spend dick all in a line. Jeez.
Dennis, here's the thing. Sneed is normal. These people who like to do this,
they're not normal
for them. It's not,
bro, you remember back in the day, it was like the thing to do, like Black Friday, you like pitched a tent in front of Best Buy and shit, you know, like, have we not like evolved? Are we still there in that phase?
Yes, I remember. Yes, I remember that. And then the retailers got smart and started doing things like opening up Black Friday deals a day before, or just having like queues and stuff. Like, there's no point to do that anymore. There's no benefit.
All I know is, like, if you guys want a higher electric bill for getting the 15 Pros or Pro Maxes, then you gotta like stick it in your freezer, and your freezer's gonna like use more electricity. Go for it.
I mean, dude, if it wasn't for the heating issues of the 15 Pro Max, I would have did it just for USB-C, just for 3.0 speeds. But like the heating issues and the thermal throttling is like the reason.
The titanium on
it you can get that on an Android though.
My man, I have Androids, but I made my iPhone a primary because you know what the Androids still suck at doing with the carriers?
What?
Supporting dual SIM, or just being supported by the carriers in general.
Well, Dennis, all due respect, bro, the dual SIM on the iPhone sucks too.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
So bro, I use it on a daily basis. I have had zero problems.
It doesn't. So the dual SIM on the iPhone does not. There's a setting in there that you can switch to the strongest carrier. But it never works. Sucks. Yes, that part sucks.
So that part doesn't work, and then also the fact that if you try like testing both networks or using both networks, like you don't get like the full power of the phone.
Right.
Yeah.
And it almost throttles your connection. So like I would recommend disabling whichever SIM you're not using and then just running one at a time and just switch profiles.
I haven't had that experience with the T-Mobile AT&T.
Bro, it's empirical. I've actually tried that myself. I've turned off the line I'm not using, and it increases the performance.
Everything gets better. The throughput improves and everything. Right. Yeah. See, Dennis, you've been talking about how like you're not impressed by like 5G speeds, but like if you've been running dual SIM this whole time,
you're handicapped.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, my daily phone does run dual SIM this whole time, but I'll also just say in my defense, I have other phones that I use to test where it is single SIM, and I don't see a performance difference.
Oh, okay. See, I started disabling the dual SIM because I saw the difference.
Yeah, normally worst case scenario. Worst case scenario. If I flip over to the AT&T line, I might have to do a quick airplane mode for it to perform properly. Worst case scenario. But I haven't, like, once it's like working like it should, it works like it should. I mean, legitimately, because I have multiple iPhone 14s, I've done side by sides of single SIM Verizon performance versus dual SIM when I've done the comparison between Verizon Ultimate's plan and Los Red. And I swear to Christ, Sneed, I've gotten the same exact performance, even though my personal iPhone 14 Pro was in dual SIM mode.
I need dual SIM.
Damn, the brother, two phones in the house.
Yo, what up?
What up, two phones? For free.
For free.
That's
What's
right,
going
brother.
on with y'all, man?
Hey, man.
Not much, man. Just getting in the crib, bro.
Hey, listen, man. I gotta ask you something, bro. I know you've been using the fixed wireless 5G home internet. I think you said you were using the Verizon or the T-Mobile version.
Verizon. I'm on it right now, actually.
Talk to me about it, man. How long you been using it, and how's it been?
Sounds good.
Oh, wow. So here's the story with me and Verizon. I got on Verizon like back in, I think, March. Got the Galaxy S23 Ultra first. That's the deal. They hooked me up with the Galaxy S23 Ultra, $100 down, and then I paid whatever. And then like maybe a month later, they sent me the alert about, hey, you qualify for home internet. And I was like, I already start seeing. Yeah, just a month later, I already seen y'all start talking about it. And I was like, man, like I kind of want to try it. And then like T-Mobile, like they still not here, man. In the East St. Louis, Illinois for home internet. But Verizon, because they was out here with Straight Talk. Because at first I was talking about Straight Talk, and then like a lot of people in my area was saying we don't even qualify. I'm like, that's crazy. But I qualify for Verizon home internet, and like, dude, it's been great. It's been great.
You're in East St. Louis right now?
East St. Louis, man, that's my hometown, bro.
What'd you have before this? Did you have cable, or would you have
Verizon? Sounds.
I had Spectrum. I had Spectrum before I had Verizon home internet.
What plan was Spectrum? What speed?
Oh man, it was way lower than Verizon right now. I was getting only like 100 down, bro.
Yeah. Is that what you paid for, or what were you supposed to get?
To be honest, I don't even know. To be real with you, because like they weren't showing that. They weren't showing like what I was supposed to be getting in my bill because I was on an old plan. So I wasn't on the new one, and like before that they tried to upgrade me and stuff like that. I mean, I really wasn't feeling it because it was like I was already getting picked off. You know what I'm saying? Like an NFL team, I was getting picked off anyway. Yeah. So I'm like, nah, I'm like, man, I'm done. And then like I just tried out Verizon, man. It's been flawless.
So the reason I sound surprised, so my parents lived for a couple of decades out in St. Louis, Missouri, on the Missouri side there. Do you know where Maryland Heights is?
Yeah, I know exactly where that's at. That's close to St. Charles.
Ferguson. Yeah, my parents.
Yeah. I got a cousin. I got a cousin out there working for Bourne. He stayed in St. Charles, Missouri.
Yeah, and my parents lived down there, and Verizon sucked. So the fact that I hear you clear as day on Verizon, I'm very surprised.
Man, I mean, I'm telling you, like I got the S23 Ultra with the 5G Ultrawide band, and then I got the the home internet set up.
Nice.
What discount is? Wait, hold up. What discount?
Yeah, what's the discount?
Oh, the discount?
No. Sneed. What's the V talking about?
Oh, so there was a discount that you may have qualified for. You got to use this little hack, this little trick. I posted a video the other day. You go into your settings, like your profile of your account, and then you have to disable the number lock on all your lines, and then generate a port out pin, and it triggers like an automatic response from Verizon to send you a $10 per line discount for 12 months on every line on your account. And then like within 5-6 hours, they send you an email or a text saying that there's a $10 discount being applied to each one of your lines.
Was it?
Damn, that'd be $50 a month for me.
Exactly. I have like 7 lines on my account, so I'm going to be getting $70 off on my bill for the next 12 months. And then literally as soon as it generated and I got the notification, I went right back into my account, put number lock back on, just kept it pushing.
That's what I did.
Does that stack with the like insider discount? And then I have like
I don't know that. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's been able to confirm that, but I don't have any other discounts, bro. I have a legacy account, bro. They don't let me qualify for nothing.
Because I'd be afraid. So I saw that article and I was afraid to do it because here's the thing. I got a few discounts. I got the one that B gave me. I got the one. I got the home internet discount for finally combining my Fios account. I got a referral discount for referring my buddy. So that's another 15 right there. And I got the BYOD 15 per month. Dude, for Verizon Ultimate, I shit you not, Steen, I'm only paying 60 something dollars.
It doesn't affect your existing discounts, but I don't know if you will qualify for another discount. Because I think their systems are limited to how many discounts they can give you.
Well,
I don't know what that magic number is, though. Try it.
I will try.
So you go generate the port out pin, huh?
Well, number lock has to be turned off first.
Turn off the number lock first under your profile.
Okay.
Then generate a port out pin.
Okay.
And then after you receive the pin, then go back and you can go back in and number lock it then, or you can number lock it later, whatever you want to do.
What do you turn the so is this for residential or business, or is it both?
Residential for me.
Because I'm business.
Okay, I just generated the pin.
I don't know about business. I can't speak to that.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing that option at all.
You might be automatically number lock. I'm not sure how business works.
Well, I just generated the pin. I'm going to turn number lock back on.
And then I got it within 24 hours. It was kind of like I did it late at night on Wednesday, and then I got the notification Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, see the number lock thing. I don't see it. Is this in the app or on the website?
I did it from the app.
It's on the app.
Yeah, I'm not getting the number lock option anywhere in the app.
I think if you're business, you're automatically number locked.
Probably.
It's a security feature, I think.
Well, hey, my bill's not that bad for one line with Verizon. In fact, I gotta say, unironically, my Verizon line is the cheapest single line I've ever had with a postpaid carrier because of all the discounts. I kid you not. I have legit. I got the auto pay discount, which is $10. I got the other $10 for the friends and fam discount, so that's $20. I got my Fios discount, which is another $10, so that's $30. I got the bring your own device promo credits that they were doing, which was another $15. So that's $45 in discount. And then I also got there's another 15 that I'm missing somewhere here. Oh, the refer a friend discount. The refer a friend discount. So 45 plus 15, that's $60 in discounts.
Did you get the OnlyFans discount?
I mean, shucks, if Verizon had one and Hans Vesper wants to buy.
Yeah, that's got to be something residential. I'm not seeing that anywhere on my business account, which is fine. I am not dissatisfied with my bill considering the device payments I have going right now.
My bill this month is $66.12. I just checked. It's $66.12 this month with the prorations, and then when I look at the next estimate or whatever, it's saying my next month's estimated bill is only going to be $49.62.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't read your name on there. The new guy.
Oh, two phones in the house?
No, you, the one who just.
Oh, he's coming soon. You can just call me HCS.
Okay, HCS. On the business, do they do I haven't had business on them, so do they do the device installments differently?
Not sure I understand the question.
So on the residential side, I think they do, was it 36 months?
It can be 2 year. I can do a 2 year contract, 24 or 36.
Okay. Interesting.
They want you to do 36, but I've got one of my devices on a 2 year. That's my elder daughter. She just wanted to pay it off, but I used the 2 year to reduce the price, so she just paid it right off immediately. And then My S23 Ultra is on a 2-year. My iPhone 14 Pro is on a 3-year. And then I have another iPhone 14 and then an iPhone 13.
So you have Android and iPhone. Which one do you like better?
I'm sorry?
You said you have Android and iPhone. Which one do you like better?
I have tried the iPhone. My stance has always been, and I'm going to catch a lot of hell from this because I always do. If you want to get work done, use an Android. If you want to, create and consume content, or you want something that's easy to use, and that just works most of the time, use an Apple with a couple. And then the other thing, because I've tried to live with Apple now twice, once with an iPhone 10 and then my iPhone 14 Plus. The thing is, at least for me, my experience has been if you want to conform your life to your devices, that's Apple. If you want to have your devices conform to your life, then it's Android. That's just been my experience in that from my clients.
So something I want to say real quick is I think where you live plays a bigger role in what kind of phone you should get. By this, I mean, if you're a US person, having an iPhone has more merit, more benefit because of things like iMessage and that being the thing that people do. You were talking about work or doing business. I'm going to tell you right now, I did sales for a while, and getting having an iPhone was sort of a necessity when doing sales because I kid you not, there are people out there, it's weird, but I've literally lost sales because of a green bubble. Blue bubble was important for closing out deals sometimes. So having an iPhone just for iMessage alone was very beneficial for that.
I think that's industry dependent though.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, an iPhone in America is probably the phone that you should go with. It's the one that's more supported. It's where all the accessories are. That's the phone that America likes to support. If you're somewhere like South Korea, if you're somewhere like South Korea though, having an iPhone sucks. You want a Samsung phone. You want a Samsung.
Suck in Korea, bro.
You want to have a Samsung phone in somewhere like South Korea. If you're somewhere like the Netherlands, which you know what? We didn't even talk about this, dude. In the Netherlands, they have so many phone choices. Bro, I saw Nokia phones, Huawei phones, Xiaomi phone. Bro, they are spoiled for choice. And also, having an Android phone is pretty legit.
Just Central and Western Europe in general, though. Because a lot of them get global releases that we don't get.
I know, but it was just weird. It was weird seeing so many brand choices. I mean, there was probably like 15 different brands that I could have chose phone for phones.
Have you tried a Xiaomi yet?
No.
Okay, but you like iPhones. I tried a Xiaomi whenever you go over again.
Actually, I personally love my Samsung. The only reason why I switched away from Samsung again is because primarily I wanted one phone to carry in my pocket, so dual SIM. That was the biggest motivating factor for my switch over to iPhone was that first, and then having iMessage back was nice.
I want to try an Honor phone next time I go over.
Well, my Samsung is in my drawer because one time I was navigating home from my mom's place in Tennessee, and I was somewhere in Virginia that I wasn't familiar with, and the Samsung screen literally started spinning. It would make calls, it would receive calls, but I could do nothing else with it. I tried rebooting it, and it went right back to it. I had to hard reset it so I could call my daughter because she knew where I was to come and get me. I took it over because it was under warranty, and they didn't find anything wrong with it. And then a month ago, I was on a phone call with a friend in the Netherlands, and I walked out the house and the call dropped, and I didn't know why. Well, I have Wi-Fi calling set up, as I'm sure most people here probably do, and if you don't, that's fine. But I love it. When I walked out the house, what happened was the Samsung had dropped the SIM. It was a physical SIM. It had dropped the SIM, and it had dropped the data SIM. But so
yo, what's going on?
He just dropped a SIM.
I don't know, but I'm going to take this as an opportunity to say that it's getting late for me, boys. So I'm a bounce. It was good being on the show and talking.
Have a good one, Dennis.
Yep.
All right. Good to have
you. Later, boys.
All right. So what we got? What's up, Sneed?
So how
Yo,
you
yo,
doing,
can y'all
man?
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Somehow my mic switch got muted. I haven't seen you before. This is my first time being on this panel here, and I haven't seen you in the times I've been watching the podcast either. They're two phones. So how's it going, man?
Oh, no problem. It's good. I came through the panel a few times. It might have been maybe a year and a half since I've been on here, but yeah, we have great conversations on here, man.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting. I subscribed to the YouTube channel and I got a link to come in here and I found myself on the panel. Like, oh boy.
Yeah, somebody calling my free up mobile number, bro. For free. Who is that, man? Some random number calling my free up mobile number. That's crazy.
Probably a bot.
Yeah, man. You know that's been going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So what y'all think about Mobile X, man, with the AI stuff going on?
I've never heard of this, so that's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, it actually just started new this year.
Yeah, it was brought up earlier in the conversation when some of the more OG guys were on, about how it was absolutely terrible at first, but they've been able to get it working in more and more areas. So, but that's about all that was said about it.
Yeah, like okay, so what I've seen some confusion. I think some people thought they were running on, I think, T-Mobile or AT&T network. I read the fine print. It said Verizon.
Yeah, I don't have any idea. I said that was the first I'd heard of them. So, I have no idea as to anything about them. I'll have to look them up so I can at least know a little bit. But yeah, I haven't been one that's real big in the cellular industry since I jumped off Sprint and joined Verizon more than 10 years ago.
Okay, yeah. I'm on the low. I'm working with Premium Wireless, so I do the third party. I guess they call it third party authorizations.
Oh, well, that's interesting because I've been having to go, like, I have a third party store here in my little town that I live in. And
Okay.
I guess, and I have a business account through my corporation. It's just a one-man corporation. So, that's just
Gotcha.
all. It's nothing special. Um, and it turns out that the third-party stores are highly limited in what they can do with my account. So I have to go to the main Verizon store in Frederick.
Oh
Because
no, that's
that's where they
true.
can do
That is
everything.
absolutely true. Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that.
Well, that's cool because I was like, every time I'm like, I'd love to support the guys. Like, if I need a case, I walk in there because they're in my town.
Yeah.
But I'd love for them to be able to do more, so I don't have to drive into the heart of Frederick
Okay.
to, do it. It's like, hey, give the third party folks some more ability to do stuff. Hell, let me walk in there and buy a phone and stick it on my plan. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
just some basic stuff. I understand, you have security and stuff like that, and that's cool, but you
Right.
got to be able to find some way to give third-party stores the ability to sign up customers on a business account, at least. Personal, they can do that all day long, but they can't on
Right. Personally.
business.
Yeah. That's what we do. Yeah.
So, yeah, but
Yeah, so I had a
um,
customer, and Sneed, he knows about FirstNet. I had a customer in there that had a FirstNet account. They came in. So I work for the one in Glen Carbon, Illinois,
it works.
and yeah, so Walmart. So that's Walmart. If you don't pay attention to my YouTube channel, I talk about Walmart day and night because that's where I work in. So that's what Premium Wireless they partner with Walmart. So like anybody that come into Walmart with a postpaid account, personally,
I can like try to like, you know, look up like if they got upgrades or if they got a free line stuff, look small stuff, you know what I'm saying? And I can activate the phone in stores just like prepaid. But the thing is, I can't deal with anything that's like a business account or like I was saying on FirstNet or whatever other authorization that's not included with Premium Wireless and Walmart. I cannot set those accounts up or upgrade or add a line, nothing like that. It's got to be personal.
Well, they're also neutering the stores. Like 9 times out of 10, I'll walk into the main store in Frederick and go, "Hey guys, can you do this?" They're like, "No, you're gonna have to call it in. They won't let us do it anymore." So even the first party stores are getting highly neutered. And I gotta tell you something. There were a couple of really good guys at and it's my local main Verizon store. It's about 12 miles away. It's my and they left because they're like, "We can't do anything. You know, we can just sit here and." Yeah, I found one of them over at AT&T. He went, "Hey, it's AT&T, but you know what? I can sell stuff. I can help people. I can buy phones. I can do this. I can do that." He goes, "I couldn't do any of that over at the Verizon store anymore. They're taking abilities away from their own Verizon stores," which I wish Sneed was still here because it's probably getting late where he is, like it is here. But you know what? I'd love to know what if
I
this
think
is
me and Sneed got the same time zone, so it might be 10:30 where he at too. Because if he in Ohio, I think Ohio and Illinois got the same time zone. Well, I just think it depends on which part of Ohio or Cleveland he's at.
Yeah. Well, I'm in Maryland, so I'm an hour
Okay.
ahead. Yeah. So, but like, you know, there's been a lot of things Hans has been doing in terms of cost cutting, you know, trying to stave off the losses because, you know, for a while Verizon was just absolutely bleeding their first tier customers. And yeah, I was like, "Dude, what are you doing? Why are you neutering the stores?" Because the best service I got was right there at the stores, and I keep having to call into the app now. And I'm so tired. I don't have a problem with it being a 400. That's not the issue. A lot of the times, when I call in now on a 400, if it's something highly technical, they have no clue how to fix it.
Right.
Before, and
Oh, trust me, I know. I deal with them day and night, bro. I
yeah.
know I deal with them
So
day and night.
it used to be if I was having a problem, which is rare for me on Verizon in the more than a decade I've been with them, it was rare for me to have a problem. But when I had a problem, I could walk in the Verizon store. And especially if it was a SIM issue or the account got screwed up, whether I screwed it up or they did, wouldn't matter. Yeah, no more, man. You got to call in it, you know.
Wow.
It's terrible, and I feel sorry for the folks in the stores because their best people were there in the stores.
Yeah, absolutely. I
And
agree.
they're
A lot of
losing them.
people, a lot of customers come in, they come see me. They said I helped them out a lot because I got knowledge and I know a little knowledge about. Well, it's just about, you know, the basic, the necessities, and you know, the simplicity. You know what I'm saying? It's about all that for, you know, most of the normal average consumers. It's about just making sure they can make calls and texts and have some type of internet connection and, you know, small stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people like they don't like when they come see me, they don't really care about no you know, unlimited data, stuff like that. They just want to make calls and texts and make sure they can get in contact with their family and friends, their doctors, stuff like that. You know, so that's what customers I got.
Yeah. Hey, David, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. This is my first time here. I've spent some time, you know, being a lurker in the YouTube chat, listen to the conversations, and I subscribe to Sneed's channel, and I find myself here.
Yeah,
I get an invite, and I went, "Ooh, you know, Sneed's here." I popped in, I find myself like, "Hey, you're on the panel." I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, I've been around for years, but I hardly ever get on.
Sneed, he real cool, man. He a real dude,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I have sent him tweets and stuff from time to time and all that. And then I finally just went, you know what? I've been spending time talking to him. He's taking time acknowledging me. I run my own business, and I know that this costs the man time to even type a few words. And you know, $2, $3, $4 a month, however much it was something cheap. I just went, you know what? That just makes me feel like that. you know, what he's being compensated for his time, either responding to something that I say or answering a question I throw at him. So it was, you know, it was a no-brainer.
There you go.
Yeah.
So yeah. So where are you at, David? We're in the country because I don't know you. So.
Yeah, I'm in Tampa. So
Oh,
watching
you're down
my
in
buck.
Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, big Tampa. That's what's up.
Florida man.
Okay, you root for them Buccaneers?
Of course.
All right now. No. I mean, hey, it's whatever floats your boat, man. You know.
Hey, we're rolling with Baker, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm from the St. Louis, East St. Louis area. I'm rooting for the Buffalo Bills. NY, baby. I'm rooting for them Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen is that dude, bro.
The nearest city of substance to me is Frederick, Maryland.
Okay, yeah, I've been to Maryland. I got matter of fact, I got an auntie. She lives out in Maryland. She's been out there for almost 20-30 years now.
So you're rolling with Baltimore then, huh?
No, I'm Baltimore's about 30 miles to my east. Well, about 40 miles to my east.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's Frederick, and then you go further east, it's Baltimore. Then you go further east, you get to, you know, the next major thing is like Ocean City.
Gotcha.
So, no,
yeah, you take what highway out here? I think 70 or 55 then towards 95.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you hit Baltimore, you hit 70, and you come to Frederick, and then you take 340 and you start heading out to like Harper's Ferry and all them. And I'm in the Harper's Ferry type area in the cluster of small towns in that area. So it's, you know, Amikasa and then Frederick and then Baltimore for majors. And when you hit Frederick, then you can turn south on 270 and you're down in DC.
Yeah, that's where the 270. Yeah, you're right, bro. Yep.
So I've been here for almost 25 years. So
dang. Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yep. Met my wife over in Bel Air, Maryland.
Oh,
then we moved
okay.
to where we are here. So yeah, that was in 2000. So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So well, but it looks like I got to get up early. Hopefully I'll see you two guys on again, because the next time I see this link, I guess I'll be back on the panel and saying hi.
Okay.
But it's going to be about midnight, and I got to get out of here because we got to get up early. I got to take my daughter to her grandmother in Baltimore. So
thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys coming on the panel. David, you're gonna come through a little bit earlier next time, David?
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
I try to Sneed. I try to also Sneed.
Yeah,
I'll try
get
to
the next one too, Sneed. Hey man, thanks for the invite, Sneed. It's appreciated. Sure. I got to get my feet wet and I'll start learning my place, and then I'll be a better help.
You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. We'll see you guys soon on the next one.
I appreciate you, man.
Later.